Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. I just needed a couple more minutes. I'm still waiting for more people to come into the live. As I'm waiting, hey Pinky, I saw that you were waiting. And Kay, come back. And others who are listening, come on down. Let's have this chat. This has been a long day. And my context today, my title is Black American Women. What is on your mind? So, hey, Miss D, how y'all doing? I'll be dropping the link so we can have this conversation if y'all wish to come up soon. But in any case, if you were not on BSI Space today, I asked that question, Black American Women, what is on your mind? Because I'm kind of raw and uncut, as you can basically see. This is our space where we can discuss a lot of issues and speak our truths. Hey, Sheena. I was about to clock out, but no, I'm glad I didn't. Here you guys are coming in. Thanks for coming. So when I say Black American women, what is on your mind? I'm learning a lot about myself in reference to mental issues. Black American women, what is on your mind? When I say what is on our mind, Black American women suffer from things like anxiety, depression. Hey, Kay. Sometimes we suffer from triggers. And today I'm learning on this space that the biggest thing I'm learning when we're on our spaces and we're talking and we're executing our points, what is our triggers? And everybody kind of knows I'm kind of raw and uncut. Y'all know who I am. I get triggered by certain things. And the good thing about it is I like how you show patience. As women, and sometimes the men, they show patience as well, because today I was like at it in a way that was just off the chain. And what I learned about myself is, oh my God, I am easily triggered by certain subjects, and I really have to learn how to get those things under control, because if I don't, as women, it can affect other things. And being triggered, I had to go back today. As I was triggered by the subject that we had on BSIA's channel, I was like, wow, this is a real, how can I say, sensitive spot for me. And I was trying to act like it didn't bother me, but it does. It's real passionate, as you ladies can see. I'm very passionate about certain things when it comes to women and us having choices and how we're told what we can and what we can't do. And in being in this space where we're basically going over politics and policies and how to make changes as Black people, as we discover we're the only Black people, as we discover that we're the only Black American women. And even though we have our different thought patterns, we're a monolith in our ethnicity, but we're not a monolith in our thoughts. And then when you get into the space and people try to tell you how to think or how to move, and it's like, no, as a Black woman, I want to be able to speak my truth and have my choices and have my options and do what's best for me as a woman, as well as do what's best for us as Black American people. And I feel like sometimes it's like you have to compromise that to get certain things across. And I'm saying, why can't we as Black American women have both? You know, and I understand we have a political agenda that we have to move. Everything is against us. Everyone is against us. We're our own family, and no one is really for us as Black Americans. It still is like it's some hurtful periods that we're going through by learning each other and our ups and our downs, our ins and our outs. And it's like certain times I'm really triggered by someone telling me what I should and should not do for the cause. And this is how we need to be. And I'm like, maybe you're moving in that direction, but why can't we move and have our agenda? Yes. But why can't I also have my personal viewpoints on how I lead and live my life as well? You know, and if my life affects certain things, I would have to be adult enough, or we as women would have to be adult enough to know, okay, this type of relationship should be able to work in this space. And your partner that you may choose should be able to understand who you are as a Black woman. Well, today I was really triggered by a lot of stuff that was being played by this video. And this man probably was a Pan Africanist, and y'all know how I feel about Pan Africanist agendas. And I just feel like a lot of the ideologies of Pan African is totally against us as Black people. But I think what mainly got me triggered the most is I feel like my back is up, and it's really weird because it's like my back is up against the very men who are supposed to be in our community. And that's not a good place to be or feel. I feel like not only am I fighting against the system in and of itself, I feel like I have to guard my position as a woman against the very men who are in our ethnic group. And I don't like feeling like that. And I'm pretty sure a lot of Black men don't feel like that about us. But then in the same token, I'm not quite sure sometimes because you see a lot of different things being presented when we're in these spaces. And what I'm learning as a Black American woman, I have to learn how to listen. Yes, I am against Pan Africanism. I just can't. I have to learn how to be more open minded and listen. And even though I don't agree, I have to learn how to disagree in a way that is not triggering me to the point that I get so overwhelmed that it's like, I'm not feeling that you feeling like you're backing me into a corner. And I think as Black women, we need to control our emotions on this aspect. It's a slippery slope. A war is to divide and conquer. Exactly, Menem. And I thank y'all for that patience because it is divide and conquer, and I do get it, and that is the art of war, and I hear that. But in the same token, I just feel like Black American women sometimes we too have to guard ourselves against some of the very men in our group, as well as outside forces, as well as sometimes guard ourselves against ourselves, because sometimes we don't necessarily think of things that are for the betterment of us as Black women. This space is for us as Black American women, and how we feel and how we move as Black American women. We can agree to disagree, but not every Black American woman requires the same thing. Not every Black American woman lives the same way. And I feel like we have to battle a lot of things, whether it be mental issues, health issues, things that we can't necessarily talk about in other spaces because our voices are overshadowed by other women who have a look like us, but not necessarily a thought pattern like us. And I want us to have this space because I feel like sometimes we talk about everything else, but we don't talk about the issues that necessarily affect and bother us. And we don't get those things under wrap. And I feel like Black American women, we're fragile in our state of mind. We're fragile in our health. And a lot of us don't take the time to take time for ourselves. We're always on the move doing everything for everyone else, but when do we take time to gather our thoughts, go over how we feel and how we dissect those feelings and how we pamper ourselves mind, body and soul, and how we can have those relationships or those places where we can say this is how I feel. It may not be right, it may not be wrong, but it's how I feel. Now, how do I move past this so that I can elevate higher as a Black woman and how I can be more effective as a Black woman? Hey, Shay. And today, I thank you so much as my Black American sisters, even though we do not agree. You see me in my rawest form. And I love that about that space, that even though it's a space where it's men and women, and I thank the men too, but I thank you especially as women, it's that you don't judge me and we're not judging one another on the way we react. I can act and be who I am. I can be my rawest form as Clarity or as Trina. I don't have to hide my emotions and how I feel. And I like that aspect about being out here because I'm not hiding anything. What you see is what you get, and you still keep coming back, and even though we don't agree on a lot of things, it's like I still have a voice and we all have a voice in this space. And it's like, here she go again, she about to flip mode. And even though we be laughing and we joking and sometimes we're serious, it's a space where I can grow and be uplifted and say, look, you got to get it together. And I read those comments and I hear it like you're being triggered. And when I was looking, I'm like, oh my God, I am being triggered like a mother frigate. So that's why I say, Black American women, what is on your mind? How can we get past our triggers? How can we what are the steps that we can utilize to help us to not be triggered to the point that we lose sight of our agenda and what we need to do on a daily basis, or what we need to do in this space, um in our political era. So I would like to drop the link. Let's see if this will work. Shay, can you come up? And Kay, can you come up? Because I need some feedback. Will you guys be able to come up, Shay and Kay? I'm gonna see if this works. Can you come up, Shay? Can you come up, Kay? Let's see. Wait a minute. Okay, I paste the link. Come up, Shay and Kay, if you can come up. Or whoever else wants to come up, come up. Yeah. So see if you can get in. And while we wait for them to come up, we can talk about um, things that we can do in references to not being triggered or letting our trigger or anxiety take the best of us. So that's why I say, Black American women, what is on your mind? What's up, Kay? That worked.
Hey, okay, how you doing? Can you hear me a bit?
I can hear you.
Okay, because I got the earplugs in here. Okay. Hold on 1 minute. One thing I want to talk about,
Mm-hmm.
so-called, you ever heard of this thing called the preference tax?
The preference tax, what's that?
So it's like, when brothers are dating women that they call a preference, right? And
Right.
these women get money out of them, right? They may get a big, like, alimony check or child support check or something like that sister Cassie. She just
Wow.
Sue Pity. Yeah. So,
Mm-hmm.
they would call sister like her preference. But now she got, like, I don't know how many millions of dollars out of P. Diddy. And they would
Mm-hmm.
call that, that these brothers have to pay a tax in order to be
Right.
with those types of women, right? They got to pay a preference tax. Me
Right.
personally, I think it's a load of garbage.
I
Um,
do.
you do too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's not that they don't get money out of these men, but when that woman Cassie was talking about the stuff that P Diddy did to her, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how true it was. What do I know? And who knows? Maybe she's just saying stuff to get money out of him. But other
Mm-hmm.
people came forward, and when I go to the comment section of different videos, a lot of people seem to believe her. And people are coming. Then they'd have some brother who works with P Diddy, and he came forward and he said, "Look, I was a hairstylist, and I had all kinds of people telling me everything as their hairstylist. They're telling me about their side bitches. They're telling me about their side niggas, et cetera, et
Mm-hmm.
cetera, et cetera." Right. So
Right.
anyway, but when she's talking about what she went through with P Diddy, and then I find out on top of that she went through what she went through over a 10-year period, and I'm just shocked. Like, you stayed in that for 10 years, and he was talking to this guy who was a hairstylist. He was talking about how one
Mm-hmm.
time he said, "Look, these guys know how to be undercover with their abuse." He said,
Right.
they may, like, you be this the next. He said something like, "Hey, one of these guys was kind of like a bodyguard." He said, "I was in a hotel room," and he said, so he has like an adjoining room, like where you have a door between the two suites. So he had to keep his door open because he's a security. So he's like, "Yeah, P Diddy goes in with the girl," and he said, "Look, when they come out, something has happened. Did you hear anything? No. Did you see anything? No. But you can tell by the energy and by the looking at the woman that something bad happened."
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, the reason I'm bringing this up because um, I used to, when I first started doing live streams, this was a couple of years ago, and it was a mixed race brother named Bluish Gelato. And that's how I heard about Black Skin is Amazing, through him, right? I used to go live streams with him. But so he's a
Mm-hmm.
mixed race brother that has a Black American mom and had a white Jewish father. But he didn't
Right.
grow up with his parents. He grew up in the Black community. He was adopted, but he didn't grow up with his biological parents. So anyway, when I started listening to him, I said, "Oh, this is interesting to hear the perspective of a mixed race brother." Then I found out there were like some mixed race sisters, like Golden Goddess. So I started listening to some of these other people. But there was this
Right.
one woman. She called herself Exoticals United,
I
and
heard
she
about that place.
right, yeah. So she was the one that I first time heard of the so-called preference tax, where they're kind of acting like, okay, yeah, when black men want to be with women like them, they're paying a preference tax. And I'm
Right.
saying, in my opinion, it's a bunch of nonsense because these women and their children are all over social media and TikTok, constantly talking about how the black men in their lives drag them through hell, and how
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, it seems to me that these men are not paying you a preference tax because too many of these women have these stories. Like some of these women may get money out of these men, right? But most black men ain't got money like that. So many of them ain't getting that kind of money out of black men. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
no, I don't think that these black men are paying you guys a preference tax. What I think is that you so-called preferences are paying what I would call a nigger tax because y'all going through hell to be with these men. And I'm like, this is a blessing and relief. Like a lot of sisters are saying, look, when these types of men reject you, it is a form of protection. Rejection is your protection. Their rejection of you is protection of you.
Protection for us.
And
Okay.
yeah, I see this. I just see it very clearly. But yeah, that was something I had wanted to talk about as a Black American woman. To all of you sisters out there, please don't fall for the nonsense of so-called preferences, because to me that's um, nigger babble. The way Tariq like
Yeah.
to talk about tether
Yeah.
babble, to me that's nigger
Yes.
babble.
Yes.
Because I don't understand how you're a preference and you get treated like garbage. That's like a clear indication that person does not see you as a preference. They're showing you that they don't see you as a preference, regardless of what the words are that's coming out of their mouths. Believe what they're showing you. And
Right.
the other thing I want to talk about, in our community, they try so hard to make these types of women look like a preference. You have to see the mind fuck game that's being played against us as black women, especially if you're a dark skinned sister, right? And
Right.
the thing is, they'll try to go out and be with someone that doesn't look like them and just figure, well, she doesn't look like me, so I'm going to call her a preference. Because if a woman who's a preference prefers me as a black man, that makes me look good. So it's a
Right.
whole fake narrative, right? It's like the women aren't really a preference, first of all, in my opinion. And
Mm-hmm.
then, but they will put that label
So
on
it's more
those
like a
women.
trophy. More like a trophy.
Well, the ones that are attractive, you can call them a trophy, but they'll go with
Yes. Not all
anybody
of them.
that
Not
doesn't.
all of them are attractive.
Right, right.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the thing is, they don't make a distinction with how they look. They call them all the same word, a preference. Now, trophy,
Yeah.
we can say, is specifically to an attractive woman, but we
Right.
know that it doesn't matter what she looks like. She can
As
have
long as her
multiple
skin
kids,
tone.
right? They'll still call her that name, that label, a preference. And like I said, the only reason why they're using it is just to make you feel like they chose a preference. Like they feel like, oh, well, look at me. I got a preference, so I know I'm somebody. And it's like, that chick is not a preference, right? And the reason why I'm saying these women are not a preference, you guys, is because why is it that the only men who prefer them are usually overwhelmingly dark skinned black men? Like,
I
why
would
aren't these
say
women?
that is
Yeah,
true.
exactly. I don't see these women being preferred. I mean, we have all types of white American people in this country, different white people, different ethnic backgrounds, Asian people, different ethnic backgrounds, and Arabs and Indians and Hispanics. And overwhelmingly, I see the same thing, even Native Americans, right? I see the same thing. They're being picked by the same type of men over and over and over again. And I'm like, how are you a preference? And you're only preferred in this has got to be what the most ethnically diverse country on the face of the planet, if not in the history of all mankind. And you uniformly only attract one type of man that calls you a preference, because all the other guys will say these women are pretty, they're beautiful, they're attractive, the ones that are.
Mm-hmm.
And like, but I still don't see them pursuing these women the way black men will. I don't see it. I don't.
I don't. I don't.
And even
But
like blue, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, you go ahead.
but it is used as a trigger point because I was today. It was like, and it was like I think he was doing it to trigger me, but he was listening to this Dr. Akbar because we was talking about
Yeah, I missed a
we
live today. Yeah.
we was listening to Pan Africanism, and Shay was there, and I'm like, just listening to this man say it, I had to realize deep down inside, I'm like, this shit. After we got off the live, I said, it does fuck with me. It
I
is like,
agree.
damn.
But you heard me go off, so you know I get triggered, and I
Yeah,
try to
so
calm
I'm
it down.
looking like when I looked at it, I'm like, when I had to come to the realization as I sat there, I said, you are bothered by this. And because of it, I am going to go seek help because it's like, oh my God, I shouldn't be acting like that. This, but what it does, it brings up memories because when he said darks, when he said black, nappy head, and I'm like, you didn't like, what is this? And it kind of like, how can I put it? It kind of like hit a nerve.
Mm-hmm.
And we were laughing about it, but I was mad. Everybody knew I was like pissed off, and I kept saying black, nappy
Yeah.
headed, and I was just going in. It's like that bothers you that me and you look alike, and now for the first time I see you don't like yourself and you don't like me, and it's like, how
Oh
do I?
wow.
You understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
now you're telling me to be with this black man, but how do I know that he doesn't have the same feelings for me like this white man does? And this is a man from my community. I don't feel safe or protected with that type of mentality because I've heard so many black men on these spaces say that they can have sex and screw black women, fuck black women, and still not like black women. So it's like, I don't feel safe around you, and and this is the man I let down my guard because we're from the same ethnic group. Do you understand what I'm you're more
Mm-hmm.
vulnerable to him because you feel like, okay, this is the man that I should feel like I can be vulnerable with. This is the man that's from my group, and this is how you feel about me. And everybody's like, no, that's the way he felt then. But it's like, nah, how many more men feel like this? Because so many black young women and girls are, these men are in our community. We don't know how, we don't vet these men. We're taught to vet outside, but we're not taught to vet the very men that are in our groups who have the same, they said they're influenced by white supremacy, but they acted out more so than a male who is of another ethnic group. Do you understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So it's like,
Yes. Yes.
how do you combat that? That makes you more vulnerable to their hatred of themselves, and then they
Mm-hmm.
want to impute it on you. And that's why I'm like, I don't want young black girls to be with a man like this just because we're the same skin tone and he's feeling like this. And everybody says not all, some. No, it's too many. It's too many. And a lot of girls and a lot of women have gotten hurt by this mentality. And now it starts to make you think, how many black men have we been with that actually feel like this? And you've
I
dated, but
know. That's true. And didn't
that's,
know. You were naive and just didn't know.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, so I'm like, how do I get to recognize these signs? I know we need to vet. I am for black love. I do not promote it. I support it, but I'm for black women being with whatever and whomever she feels comfortable and happy with, whoever accepts her, whoever loves her. You know how my standing is on that. But I do
Mm-hmm.
wonder how many black men feel like this. And this man was older and he was a professor in a university. And I'm like, oh
Wait,
hell.
okay, wait, Trina, hold up, because I missed the live stream today. So you guys, you're speaking with this doctor. What's his name?
We weren't speaking with one. He was playing Dr. Akbar, whatever his
Okay,
name is. You
doctor.
gotta
So
so
is he
you
a
got,
Muslim? This guy, what name sounds like
I
a
don't know.
Muslim
I know
name?
he's a Pan Africanist, and I
Okay.
guess he changed his name up. When you look at BS up, his live, if he still has it up, you'll see what I'm talking about. And the cool man with his patient self, he tried to explain it, but you know how we box him in the head and the neck. The cool man be taking it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially from me, because I'll
Mm-hmm.
be like, shut your mouth. Because when he start coming with that Pan African and stuff, it just like irks my soul. It triggers me on that aspect, and it's something I got to look at because when I read about Pan Africanism and where it starts from, I'm like, I'm not feeling this ideology. I'm kind of tired of the nonsense. We need solutions. We need
Mm-hmm.
concrete solutions. I don't want to keep talking about ideologies. Ideologies don't work. We need concrete solutions because people are in dire stress now. People are in need now. We need
Mm-hmm.
band-aids and we need help as of yesterday, months ago. I can't be sitting here talking about, oh, we got to do this. I'm in the position, or I want to be in a position where I can actually help people
Mm-hmm.
now. not just wait until like later on. Yes, we do have an agenda where we have to vote and all that, but people are going through now, especially Black American women with children, Black
Mm,
American women who are single, any aspect that Black American women need, we need to form something where Black American women can have a place to go because there is no help for us. All of these organizations and all of these different things that are up are for other people. It's not for us. And I don't
mm,
know where to go at to get resources that we can utilize. And the only ones who I can think that can help do this is us. We
mm,
all got, and a lot of us we're out here in the dust. And then when you hear stuff like this, like, oh, Black men have these preferences and this, that, all of this is just like adding fuel to the fire. It's like, so I
mm,
can't necessarily go to him
mm. I
unless you
agree.
are in a concrete relationship with this man and this is your partner or your husband. So what about the women who are not partnered up? Where do they get help and resources? And Shay asks that question a lot of times.
That's
Where
an
do we,
excellent question.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That type of stuff. So yeah, I was triggered. I'm learning, and it's not to say I won't get triggered again, because y'all know me. When I blow the hell off, we all
Mm.
blow the hell off. We
Yeah,
let
well, I'm the same way. But so, so
we blow it off.
but what happened? Did you and BSIA get into some kind of
No, we
conflict
didn't
within
get
that?
into anything. We
Oh,
didn't get into anything. It was, hey, American, Black Holocaust. What's up? It
mm.
wasn't that we got into it. It was the aspect of when he was playing it, and then you know how he keep playing it, and I was like, like he was at me, and I was going,
But okay, what I'm trying to
yes,
say. So
Black
what
Holocaust.
did I'm trying to say? What did Professor Akbar say that you felt triggered about that? Because I didn't
Okay,
catch
what
that live.
triggered me was
Mm-hmm.
he was saying that, I'm gonna try to paraphrase. He was basically saying that, I guess before he became a Pan Africanist, he was repulsed about his own self being a dark skinned, bald
Mm.
headed Black man. And then when he went to describe the Black woman, he went like, I felt like he could have stopped right there. I was repulsed by myself. This is how white supremacy affects you. No, he went on to say, and then to be around this Black, nappy headed,
Whoa.
then he says, and then to for her to like, it's like the aspect of her to even have the nerve to think that you're beautiful and then smart was like,
What?
and he could, yeah, you got to hear it. He didn't say it the way he's saying it.
Mm-hmm.
It was like he went into segue, but now since I've gotten the Pan African, I don't feel like that. But when you hear how you say it, my mom said no, he was out of line. He could have said how he felt, and when he
Exactly
went
about himself.
to Black, nappy headed, he was specific.
But why didn't he call himself nappy head? He has the same nappy head. Right?
Yes, and now American Holocaust said it. It was triggering after, and I'm like, my nappy. Now, keep in mind, my hair can get nappy. I ain't had nappy hair in a long time, but
Mm,
regardless, how does that make you feel? Like, well, damn, And then it just kind of like kept hitting in my membrane. Like, how many Black men actually feel like this, and how many should you trust? And I don't want none of my daughters going with none of these men and
mm,
the pretense. Oh no, not all of us. No, I don't trust this because this man is a
mm,
professor. And we was talking about how Pan Africanism was taught in the schools. I don't want no darker skinned girl running up
mm.
something like that.
Right, right.
I'm here just for the sake of us having Black babies. This person
Mm,
is not going to be some, and I believe that he's not the only one who felt like this. This still goes on. So how many men feel like this? And how do you avoid these type of men? It's enough that we have to go on with other forces coming up
but
against us
Trina, did you hear
in the
that
community.
one?
It's a lot.
Did you hear that one Cynthia G video where she was talking about one of her subscribers? I think had sent her a video from the 1930s, and it was like an old song where a black man was
Yes,
singing, and he was an old
yes.
nappy head, and that was from the
Oh, nappy
1930s, like
headed
almost
men.
100 years
Yes.
ago.
It
Yeah.
was in the 1920s, 1930s, and it was
Right.
making
So it's about 100 years ago. But you think about it,
nappy.
why we all have so-called nappy hair. I don't call it half nappy. I call it afro texture. But if you, how are you going to have? Why is it that we're always the one with the nappy heads? Like they don't have nappy heads. Make this make sense.
I don't know. I think it's an offense. 1 second, y'all hold on. Kay, and Shay, keep talking. I have to let my mom on.
Okay.
Y'all,
Okay. Hey
Shay,
Shay, how you doing tonight? Shay.
Shay. Well, you keep talking, Kay. Give me a
Okay.
second. I gotta put my mom
Okay.
up.
No
So
problem. Okay. Anyway, guys, what I was talking about the preference, and how they try to claim that these women are a preference, and I'm like, if they're a preference, why are they not preferred by different types of men, right? They don't have to be preferred by all types of men, but I'm just asking a really straightforward question. If they're such a preference, why are they not preferred by different types of men? It's always one type of man over and over again. And I think like these guys like to put it in our head as black women, especially dark skinned black women, that for us to see these women as a preference, which I don't, because like I said, um, you got any type of types of men in this society who are could be considered a preference, right? Um, I'm sorry, but what I'm saying is that if I look at men who own mansions in this country, men who own corporations, men who own skyscrapers, etc., right? Men who own car dealerships, those types of men that have money. And to me, those types of men are men that I would call a preference, right? The type of men that are movers and shakers and they have the means to, create an economy, to create the jobs that people need. They have the means to provide for women and children, etc. To me, those are the kind of men I would call a preference. And I'm looking at these women, I'm like, well, if you're a preference, why do you not attract men who are a preference? I'm just trying to understand. It's like, how are you a preference when you can't attract men that are a preference? Um, because the kind of men that they attract clearly are not a preference, because these guys may have the money, they may have the looks, sometimes they're professional athletes, but when these women talk about how badly these men treat them, then you see that these men have very poor, low level quality characters. Their character is very poor. And that right there, makes you know, like, okay, miss, if you're a preference, how did you attract trash? How do you attract garbage? Because the kind of men who treat you badly like that, they're trash. We all know this. They are trash. So it's like, how are you a preference, but you're attracting trash? So, just a quick question. And you guys, let me see if I can take a look at the comments. Okay, hold on a minute, because I'm sitting in this place right now, so I can't um speak as openly. I'm back in San Francisco and I'm sitting in this place right now. So right now I'm not able to just talk as openly as I normally do. But anyway, hold on 1 minute. Let me look at the comments. Um, okay, hold on, let me get my glasses. I'll make sure I don't miss nothing. Okay, guys, I'm gonna look at the comments. Yeah, Miss D. Miss D says one of the wealthiest black men has a white wife. Right, right. Um, He said, wow, Miss D said, even Martin Luther King before Coretta was rumored to be engaged to a white woman. Man, Miss D, I never heard that. Man, you learn something new every day. Oh, wait, hold it. F. Lavardian's light skinned sister. Let's see what she has to say. She said, can I be honest? As a light skinned woman, many of us who have those features actually know a lot of black men are weak for light skin and curly hair, and many play on that. Yeah, F. Lavardian, to be honest, I was just watching a video with Flower Tower yesterday, and Flower Tower was saying the same thing, like how us dark skinned sisters would go crazy for, a guy that has light skin and curly hair. She was talking about two guys that were in her, I think, junior high or high school, and she was
mhm.
like, they were kind of average looking, they weren't all that great, but just because they had curly hair and lighter skin, all the dark skinned girls were crazy and wild about them. She was talking about how one time she was in the bathroom and she said the door opened and one of them happened to be passing by. And she said them girls stampeded out of the bathroom to the point they almost ran her ass over.
Oh my
So,
God.
I ain't gonna lie, we as Lavarni, we do the same thing. But yeah, I agree, as Lavarni, we know that they have that kind of weakness. I understand the colorism and being color struck. But what I'm talking about is when they play this whole preference thing. Like, as Lavardian, have you ever heard of that channel, Exoticals United? And so that's just, that woman. Okay, she has a Mexican mom, Hispanic mom, Black American father, and she puts on this whole thing about mixed race women being exoticals, and she be going on, right? And I try to
Right.
listen to her a few times just to, be well rounded and try to understand other people's point of view. And I really didn't find her that interesting, so I didn't really go on her channel that much. But she was the one who's talking about how black men have to pay a so-called preference tax to have access to women like them. And I don't see that. Black men have access to those women by just treating them extra nice and gassing their head up. And then once they got them, they treat them like trash. Pretty much like they treat dark skinned black women. What else is new? But what I'm saying is that she plays that whole preference thing, right? And I really started thinking about that after I kind of came across her channel. And then when I really put my brain to it, I said, how are you a preference? And it's only one type of men that prefer you in a country that is the most ethnically diverse country on the face of the planet.
That is a
And
good
then,
question, Jay. How is that?
yeah,
Are
how
they
are
a
you a
preference for
preference?
just a certain type of male because they're not a preference in their community? That's a good question. They're
Yeah,
only a
and you
preference
know what?
in their
That
community.
brother, just because I was curious, because as Lavarnia said, she's light skinned. Because there's another brother, who is the other person? Oh, Bluish Gelato, right? Because like I said, that's how I came across black skin's amazing. Well, Bluish Gelato is light skin mixed race, and Bluish Gelato said that he was never. He said he really is not that attracted to other women who are light skinned mixed race like him, right? Not that he's not attracted to, but it's not a big deal to him. He says, and I was shocked when he said this. He said, if a dark skinned brother, because he lives in a black neighborhood, right? He grew up in a black community. He said, if a dark skinned brother sees him as a light skinned mixed race brother, and that dark skinned brother is dating a light skinned mixed race woman, he will make smirk at any light skinned mixed race brother like Bluish Gelato, make it like, oh yeah, I got your woman like this. And I said, I never thought that, to realize that. I never knew that black men acted like that. I always thought they thought the mixed race sisters were black. But he said no. Well, if they see me, they make a big deal about being with a light skinned mixed race woman as if to say, oh, I got your woman, I got your woman. It's really stupid. But he said you can have them. He said he don't even find them sisters that attractive. He said he's more attracted to full black dark skinned women, right? That's always been his preference. So anyway, I'm just saying, like, how are you a
So do
preference?
you
If
think
and
in
the
our
other thing,
community
how are you a preference if you don't attract men who are a preference? Because men who
that's
treat you like
that's the
trash ain't no preference. You
question.
know what
That's
I'm
the
saying?
question.
Yeah,
So what do you think is basically an onset on? Okay, they get these women and they're their preferences, and who is this to make them look a certain way or feel upscale, or is this to make us feel a certain way? I don't know. My whole thing is I'm not really trying to figure it out, but I do like I hear a lot of black women say, okay, opposites attract, because you may have a lighter skinned man who likes darker skinned women, whatever. We see that not all black men are like this. But again, there are a lot like this and they tend to be of a darker hue. Are these men black American men? Are they African men, Caribbean men? Which one? How do you decipher? Because these are three melanated groups who have that same aspect. But here's the thing: primarily, we date Black American men, and how many of them feel this way? And how do you know to do like the test that you're not being how can I say settled on for the moment until they get their preference, their preferred woman? Because this is stuff that I think we need to teach young Black American girls. Because do you really want to be? What happened to you? Okay, because you dropped off. Do you really want to be subjugated to someone who's just settling for you just because of the quote unquote they can't get what they want? This is what they'll deal with you now, but they're not really wanting to be with you. They would prefer to be with something else. This is what I'm talking about. And how do you vet that, as well as know how to vet relationships with others who are outside of your ethnicity who may have this same mentality? It's like we got a lot to cipher through as Black American women because of our position and who we are as Black American women in this country. Does that make any sense? Michelle, you still have muted your mic. I don't know. But Kay made some good points. Whose preference is this, and why is it stated? Because this is something they always say to us. This is our preference, and maybe some of us too have preferences as well. Because I've heard that a lot of us too can be colorist or have a mindset where we want a certain skin tone. But we have established that it's not more so with us as Black American women, but regardless, we still do practice it. And how bad is it in our community? And again, as Black American women, when you're allowing others, especially of opposite sex, to come and approach you and be that prospective mate, how do you know that this person is not settling for you, or just dealing with you for the moment? Because you may not be their preference, but I'll deal with you until I get my preference. I prefer to not be a black. I would prefer not to be a black male preference either, Pinky, because look at it. It's not looking like it's based on any type of emotional love. It's like it's based on something that I don't know. I don't even know how to think in the context of what a man is thinking. Now I'm learning more about us as a community having that self-hate, and it seems to really affect Black males at a stronger rate than it does Black women. How do you feel like Black women may present their self-hate? Because I don't want to do the same thing that they do either, and have this be like, oh, well, you do it, I can do it too. That's not something that we want to do, because you want to be honest with yourself and how you feel about your males and how you feel about your community. And I feel like when I was looking at what we was looking at today, it was just like a real trigger point. It was like really strange. That's all I'm saying. And it was like bugging me. Okay, wherever you at, try to come back in if you can, because you dropped off. But yeah, that's something it really picked my nerve. That's what I'm saying. As a Black American woman, I was like, this crap is annoying the hell out of me. And it's like every time we do this subject about colorism, about our skin tones, how do you think we feel as Black American women towards one another? Are we that way towards one another, where we attack one another for skin tone? And if so, in what way? And how can we improve that? Because I feel like I don't want to have that aspect with Black American women, because we are of different hues, dark skin, light skin, in between. But these conversations tend to come up a lot in our spaces. And we do see where it's mimicked in other spaces, but in our spaces it's magnified, making it more out of control than what it would have been if we would have handled it on our own. And I think we do need to handle it. I feel like as Black American women, it's not that bad. But listening to like what Mouthy was saying when she went on to other spaces, I feel like this colorism thing is starting to like rear its head again within the context of our community, because two other communities are battling their skin issues that really are off the chain. I don't even call it like colorism. I call it an aspect that they're mentally ill with this bleach and stuff. But how can we want it and know how to recognize when we're being scammed and making an issue? How do we practice not letting these things be a trigger to us as a group, especially as dark skinned women, some brown, and light skinned women? How can we not let these things be a trigger to us on that aspect? And again, like you said, a lot of us do not want to be a preference, right? We're looking on. I think we're taking on the issue of tether still. I think we're taking on the issues of tether still. And I'm tired of being triggered by their issues. I'm tired of being put in the forefront and we're being the face of colorism. I know we do have it in our community. I don't think amongst women it's that bad. I do think we have it, but I think the males tend to elevate it more. But nonetheless, how do we get a cap on it as Black women to rise above it? And I think it's going to be a process, but this cannot we can't keep letting this be a point where it divides us. Like I think people were saying on, it's like a divide conquer series, where these issues right here can lead into so much more. And I want to put a stamp on it, or put a lid on it, because we don't want to take this in on future generations where these children, we're still talking about color and colorism, because as we know, Black Americans, like I said, come in many different shades of colors, from the darkest of dark to the lightest of light. And it's like all of a sudden when things started to seem like it was dying down, now it's being elevated again. And it's not our voices necessarily speaking about this as Black American women, as others. And then I'm starting to see it creep into Black American males still bringing it up. And today, as you can see, every time I heard 10 men say that stuff, it was like just driving me freaking crazy. So these are things, like I said, we need to talk about, not all the time, but on a regular basis, to figure out different methods on how not to let these be trigger points, to the point that it takes us off guard, to make us feel, to lower our self-esteem, because that's what it makes me feel like. It lowers your self-esteem in some sense. And if it's doing that to me as a woman who's of an older age, just imagine what it can do to someone who is a teenager. If they're hearing stuff like this, how it can affect their psyche, or children, or young girls. This is stuff that we don't want to affect them. We need our girls to have the utmost highest confidence, and the most, how you say, be well-rounded, because we're not just dealing with Black American males. We're dealing with all different types of cultures here now. So we have to have that. I feel like as Black American women as a whole, we have to have that confidence in ourselves to know where we stand as Black American women, and what to watch out for within our own group as well as outside of our groups. We can't keep we have to have our back up to a degree, but we have to be alert enough that we're open enough to see what's going on around us. I don't want to walk around so tight and wound up, like we have to be on guard, like something is coming to get us. But in some sense, yeah, we do have to change how we walk, how we move, how we think, the whole 9 yards. But it just, like I said, it really, really bothered me in the aspect that we could have Black men in our community that feel this way. Not all, but too many. And like I was saying, that's why I said, Black American women, what is on your mind, and how do we resolve a lot of these issues and move past it? Kay brought up some good points. A lot of us would not want to be preferences, so that brought an aspect that was different, because just because someone is a preference like Cassie does not mean that person was treated well. And clearly there was some strong delusional issues on that aspect. And it makes me feel even worse, even though it makes you feel some type of way that, damn, this is a Black American man that did it, because he is a part of our community. And it's like, what is going on in their heads that they are like this? So if they feel this way and treat their preferences like this, can you imagine what they would treat a woman like who looks like them? So it does let you see that the aspects of white supremacy has affected them to the point that it has made them twisted in some sense, especially in that context of being in Hollywood. Just imagine if he was just a regular everyday man feeling like this. So even when they do get a woman who does not look like them, this is how you still feel, and you still treat them. So I'm not registering. Oh, your response came up, Denise. Hey, Denise. So like, it's strange. Like, we have to. How are you? Glad to see you, Denise. So like I said, being a preference is not necessarily something we would want to be. Where have you been at, shit? Because you was just out. Yes.
Hey, what's up, y'all? What's up, family? What's up, women? Black women. Yeah, so I heard the conversation, and excuse me, I hope I don't sound horrible. I don't want to sound horrible now. And
Speaking of,
yeah, so there's a lot that's been on, there's something always on my mind, I got to tell you.
mhm.
And relationship men surviving. I mean, we got diseases, we got COVID, we got all types of stuff going around. How we take care of each other, who's our support team, who's our backup team. I'm talking about specifically for Black
Put a link.
American
If anybody
women.
want to come up, just hit the link if you want to come up. But go ahead, Shay.
Yeah, who do you talk to? Who do you trust when you talk to somebody who really loves you, who really got your back? So when Trina says, "What's on your mind?" Yeah, a lot of stuff is on our mind. How are we going to survive? Where's our wealth? Where's our economics? How's our economy? Where's our community? Yeah, that
Mhm.
worries me. Who has our back when we in the face of the devil? You understand? We know
Mm-hmm.
God because that's what keeps us here. To
Mm-hmm.
be honest, that's our strength. That's my strength.
There's a link if anybody wants to come up. Speak your mind. We are our own support, but we got to figure out how we find a way to dispense that support to people
To
in our
each
community.
other
Yes,
And another
in
thing,
person.
can you guys hear me?
I
Yes,
can
I
hear you.
can, loud and
Okay.
clear.
Okay. I want to say that I think another thing we have to do is find a way to have private conversations, because I know you guys before had said
Right.
something about if you have some ideas about what we need to do and how we need to move, you
Thanks.
can't say that
Patreon.
on a public platform where
Yeah,
hundreds of millions
especially
of
on
people
YouTube,
across
we
the
got to
planet.
be careful what we say and what we don't say. So we
Yeah.
Patreon. I think Mouthy Megan had that Patreon, so we would have to
Right,
probably.
because what happens is like people will, you'll come with an idea, and the next thing you know, tethers will copy your idea. Just like you call yourself Foundational Black America, they want to call themselves Foundational Black African,
Like
super stuff,
this.
petty stuff
Yes,
like that. So
that's
yeah, so
crazy.
we can't.
We have
Yeah, foundation.
we have to start groups
Yeah,
offline.
but
Yeah,
sorry, because I was asking S. Lavardia because she said she was a light skinned sister, but she did say like the lighter skinned sisters. Well, it's not just like the skin sisters. Almost everybody who doesn't have, well, everybody knows how a lot of dark skinned black men will worship anything that's lighter than them. Pretty much the whole world knows at this point.
right.
So
Not
it is.
everyone.
Hmm?
Hey,
Enough
what's up,
of them.
American Black? What's up, American Black Holocaust survivor? Give me a
Yes.
shout out.
The
What's
whole
up?
thing. I
Mhm.
don't think it's all, but it's too many, and I just don't want to be affected by his pain. Like someone was saying, he was in pain. Dr. Akbar was in pain, so
Mm.
I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to be your pain inflicted on me because you in pain. I understand. I can relate. We've both been affected by slavery, but you're not gonna hit me
No, not
with
that.
the
Oh,
what you
no,
call a weapon because you feel in some type of way. That's something we can't tolerate. We can't do that. That's the way I feel. And it's like when we're in them spaces, he may have been hurt, he may be going through it, and I understand, I empathize with it. But in the same token, you're not gonna beat me with the your sledgehammer of pain. I can understand, I can
Okay.
relate, but I also need my own space to heal too. And it's like I don't feel like that is given much response or respect that black women are in pain too. I understand that he may feel downtrodden by the system of white supremacy. It has kept him down in a lot of different ways, but we too have suffered from that.
Yeah,
And when we get
and
in these spaces, he's yelling, trying to get his point across. We're yelling, trying to get our point across. But it's like, to me, I feel like his point
Mm.
is made more elevated and ours is mute. And I'm not going for
yeah,
it.
I
I'm
agree.
dealing with
I'm totally against that. I'm all up in arms, like by like an army up against it. But
it.
I
Yeah.
want
Yeah,
to say
that was
something. What
that was
Lynn?
a hell of
Yeah,
an
go ahead, go Shay.
expression.
Hmm.
No, I would say sometimes Trina can be off the ledge, not off
Yes,
the hook,
Oh
off the
no,
yeah,
it's
let me tell
goddamn
you
all
something.
ledge,
Let me tell you,
because
I jump off the
the
damn
way
cliff.
she took it. But it's good to hear her express how she felt and what she heard out of that conversation of what Brother Akbar said.
But
She took it
what she said, because I heard her a
somewhere
little
else.
bit, right? Something about this Dr. Akbar was saying that, uh, and how dare you, dark skinned black woman with your nappy head, feel good
It
about
wasn't
yourself, think that you're educated.
yeah, it's like the way it was put, like you as a dark skinned woman, you have the audacity not only to think of yourself as beautiful but intelligent too. Like he didn't see himself
Mm-hmm.
like that. So he damn sure wasn't feeling her feeling like that, because you
Yeah,
uglier
that
than
makes sense.
me. That's the way
Yeah,
I took it.
but
Like,
that
well,
makes sense because they try, like they'll see you smiling and they, or happy or something. They
yes,
try to beat you down and kill your joy. That's demonic and
that,
evil. Yeah,
that's what
but
I
I'm
feel
telling
like
you,
some of them do.
Yeah,
I
so
said,
there is some type of inner vitriol. That's not
but I
that
think it's
this
a
is
curse, you
bringing.
guys. I
Yeah,
think this
this
is
is
a
not
curse, and I
bringing
think,
a man
yeah,
against woman, black woman against black
no,
man,
this is
bastard black
something.
man.
This is
No,
something
this is
different, in my
healing.
opinion. This is, to me, guys.
Yeah.
It's a curse because I think this curse stems from them. Like they said, slavery in Africa started with the men selling their own women and children, and I felt like this a type of curse was placed on these men for doing that. Okay, and
Hmm.
I think those men who do not have any animosity against their women, I think they're free of this curse. It just does not touch them. Like the curse can only touch those that have that animosity in them. And once they have that animosity in them, it's like, okay, this is your curse. You're going to carry the burden of this curse for hating your women, and that is it. To me, it just seems like a curse. And I feel like black men who don't have that animosity, the curse cannot touch them. They're protected from it. And those who, it's like a choice. You get to that road, that fork in the road, and the choice is: are you going to respect, or at least be decent to your women, or are you going to have vitriol and hatred to your women? And once they make the choice to
Right.
have vitriol and hatred, there's a curse. I really think this. I think that's what it is. Go ahead.
Yeah, because it's the aspect of, okay, if you feel that way about yourself, fine, go seek some type of help. Or why even seek out these women to come at in the first place? And that's what I felt like he was saying in that moment. They come at you purposely because I'm still feeling this pain, and I want you to never forget. I'm feeling low down here, and I
Right.
gotta keep you down
And
here
I'm
to
gonna
the
tear you down. Yeah, because
yes, that's what
I've
I
met
was
men
getting
who are like that. It's like they're in
at.
a dark hole and they want you to come down that dark hole with them. And I'm like, let me tell you something. There's no point in me having belief that there is a God, and I'm gonna make the choice to go step down into a dark hole, the sunken place. No, I'm not doing
Right.
that.
American Holocaust,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they when we were talking about it, they have a certain way in which they treat certain ones. Certain ones get treated at a higher level than others. So the way that they treat you is very distinct. It's very different. It's not like, how can I put it? It's subtle. So yeah, you're right. If they really treated us like crappity crap, we would probably be going down to the river tearing ourselves up. But I think we have a higher resolve. I think what we do is we hide it as black women, and we tolerate certain things. Like BSIA was saying, that they go all out their way to do certain things. I don't want to say preference for certain women that they want. Now that we're seeing that these so-called preferences don't necessarily get that great of a treatment, it looks like it.
Well, what happens is it's like the tip, like a writing pen, right? And you know how you turn the writing pen upside down? You got the tip, the writing part, that's the front, and then you have the long part. And at the tip, they will go out of their way and treat these women, very well to get them. And that's just the beginning, the tip of the
Right.
the pen. And then once they got them, it's a wrap. It's a whole different treatment when they got them. Like that girl Cassie was with P. Diddy for 10 years. So she spent 10 long years with that abuse. But imagine how well he treated her in the beginning, at when it first
So
began,
is
right?
that what it is? You're lured in from the beginning, give you the best treatment, whether you're darker skin, brown skin, or lighter skin, and then all of a sudden the whammy comes out, and then they come in.
Right.
They
And
actually
those
feel.
women find them
Let's
like,
not make
oh,
this.
he's supposed
Let's
to
not.
treat me
Let's not.
nicer because my skin is
Yes, let's
lighter.
not make
And
this
these
like
men
all
do the
black men
opposite.
treat black women like shit. I'm not saying
No,
that.
no, no, no. We're not
I'm
saying it. We're
saying we
talking
gotta
about the
watch.
ones who got that mindset.
Yeah, we gotta learn. We gotta watch out. I don't want young black girls to run into that, to get mediocre
Yeah.
treatment or bad bash treatment just because he's going through his self-hatred mode. We have to not only tell darker skinned girls, but all of our girls, whether they're dark, brown, or in between, they have to know what to watch out for, because we can't help him in this painful journey that he's going through. He has to go and seek help, because we have to
Yeah.
seek help ourselves. Being with him and pampering this type of behavior does not help him, and it damn sure doesn't help us, and it doesn't help the community. That's what I'm saying. All we're
Right.
creating is children with self-hating how you say attributes, and it comes out
Right.
one way or
Yeah.
another. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. And I want to say something about that. Somebody, I think Lynn said, hurt people hurt people. I've heard that before. And, I'm going to give some pushback, Lynn, because I've been through some garbage in my life since my childhood. And my thing is, because of painful experience I have no interest in hurting other people. So I think we need
Yeah.
to change the narrative on hurt people hurt people. Because I think sometimes people who are hurted will hurt people. Other people, they hurt people because they're evil.
That's the bottom
It is,
line.
yeah. So we
That's
have to
right.
remember that. Like, we know there are people that are hurting and that were hurt, and there are other people that hurt and they have compassion because they're like, I'm not going to inflict that type of pain on anyone else, right? And there are people that were hurt because, man, they're evil. They're just evil. And they sick.
They are
So
so
yeah,
mad that they gonna get whoever walking by, they gonna tear you up. That's what I be seeing, and I'm
yeah,
like, and that's what I see a lot of times. And I think that aspect, like Shay was saying, I get off the chain. I'm like, I got to watch for these other mother friggers out here too, but now I gotta keep my back up for your ass because you might be
right,
acting. Not, I don't be feeling like I don't feel like I gotta put on a boxing glove both ways to be like swinging up on some stuff. This shit is crazy. Who wants to be going through that? I should feel like, okay, I can at least stand beside you without you trying to take a jab at my ass because I look like you. This shit, it just like kind of like baffles my mind. It's like, how about I'm gonna get way down on this side and you stay on that side and we fight the system and do what we gotta do to get to the finish line. But I ain't standing too close to you because I'm gonna be fighting you while we trying to get what we gotta get. And that's the way I be feeling like I gotta fight you and fight white supremacy too.
Come on,
That's
that's right.
yeah, this shit is like ridiculous. If you don't feel some type of way, turn off and turn the other way. You don't have to look at my skin. Go the other way. Go get help. That's all I'm saying. Like you were saying, okay, we get it, but that can't be us. That
Wait,
when
Trina,
you're
you cut off. Go ahead.
that's something that we have to put in context that you do when you're a child. You hurt people, but when you become an adult
That's
and you
right.
see that you have a problem, you got to go get some help with that. And I'm not for light skinned women being hurt either, because I won't want my light
Me
skinned
either.
daughter
I agree.
or anybody going through what
Yeah.
Cash goes through either. So it's like, so you gonna get my
Yeah.
daughter's preference, you gonna treat her
Yeah.
like shit.
No,
We
I
can't be
agree.
taking shit. This shit is
I
crazy.
agree. I don't agree with any of our daughters, girls, women being treated crappy because, a skin color or because of our ethnicity. I don't agree with it at all.
Right.
Yeah, but in Casey case, she was 16 years old. And
16.
yeah, when she
Oh,
started out.
I didn't
So
know that.
somebody knew something. And where was her parents? Where was her family? And how did she manage to stay that long? I mean,
10 years, man.
Because he groomed her because she was so young.
Yeah,
When you
that's what
look
some
at it,
people said.
that's
His
why
but
they
in
Yeah.
the
started doing them
industry,
young.
like everything is, what this going to be about once you cross
But
that
but
line.
did you hear the part where she was saying he had her sleeping with male prostitutes? I
That
can't get
shit
that
was
part out
sick.
of my head, God. I
That shit
can't
was
get that
sick.
out of my mind. I
Mm-hmm.
cannot get it. I'm like, I just can't imagine because you guys, this that sick shit you heard about the white slave masters doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like they will make the black slaves,
It
sleep
shows
with their
how
white
effective we
wives,
are, guys.
or watch a black man have intercourse with a black woman, stand there at the door and watch. Just sick.
That's some
Like
sick shit.
what?
But
That
yeah, but
bullshit
that
we
comes
can
with
do it.
that territory too. That's not
Yeah,
surprising to me. That comes
yeah.
with that territory. What does anybody expect?
Pinky
Some
Wells said her
I
parents
never
knew. Her
knew
parents sent her to
that.
get the wealth. She said her
Wow.
parents knew what was happening. They
And
sent
that's the
her to get the
degeneracy
wealth.
of certain communities. That's not like ours. But here's the thing. It kind of makes you feel it makes me feel some type of way in hearing this because Diddy comes from a situation like most of us do, single parent homes where your mom works, trying to give you and your siblings the best life that they can give. He didn't come from nothing no different than none of us as Black American women. In
It's
fact,
okay.
so it makes you
Mhm.
wonder for Black American people, he grew up the same way we grew up, if you think about it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So where did you, what the fuck, what did you,
Where
where
does
you
the
pick
where does the degeneracy come from? I agree, but
Yes.
Well,
you
he
see,
in
but
that
you
life,
see,
the lifestyle, he was exposed to it once he started getting to the music business. He was exposed to the other folks who were higher than
sorry, I'm just on
him.
the phone.
He was exposed to the white elites. He was
Mhm.
exposed to that whole industry.
We're talking about Diddy.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even
Yeah.
blame the industry if I be honest, because I mean, there's
It
plenty of
makes
people
you,
that in
I
that
think
industry, that industry who are not degenerate like that.
is
And
the industry pulling out something that's already in you that they see. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want to look at
Well,
yeah,
people.
but
obviously he took part because he had to give up something to get. Well,
get
look at
Right.
that
what he
right.
started
But
out
think
with.
about it. Think about you're hearing about that type of degeneracy. It doesn't matter if they're athletes, they're in the music industry, they're yeah, like you like soon as some of these guys feel like they have any little bit of a power of authority, you're hearing about it in the church. They're
Mhm.
into degeneracy. So I don't think it's that industry, honestly.
Right.
Well, when I say the industry, anything dealing with wealth, money,
Yeah,
um,
Pinky Well said
to
that he
that
probably grew up in
degree,
a mammy household where he was coddled. That may be it too.
And then I'm talking
Yeah,
about
yeah,
like
yeah.
a lot
Sorry,
of us
Shay. Go
do
ahead.
a lot of us do have two parent homes, but some of
Oh,
us we know it's commonplace that a lot of us have single parent homes. But go
yeah.
ahead, Shay.
Hey, Simone. Go ahead, Shay.
No, what I was saying is that not just the music industry, we know it's other industry too. We know the stories that we heard and what we hear as a
Right,
Black American in the US, what goes on and what goes down. Okay? So for some of us, that's not a surprise or a shock.
right. And we're not
When you're
perfect like
doing shows, women throw their panties at you. Girls are expected to give it up the first day. Anything could go down in
I
those
see what you
type of
mean. Yeah,
situations, atmosphere, circumstances, and in some cases drugs. So we know that's nothing new.
I see what you're saying. But Shay, did you hear about Ti and
right,
Tiny and how they have these hotel room, I don't know what the hell you call them, and they have a bunch of girls in there, and they would tell them that if if you're gonna stay, you all have to take your pants off. Whoever
I
keeps their
heard
pants
that.
on, I could,
wow.
yeah, Ti
I
and
that
Tiny,
I
Let's,
was
let's keep
like,
in mind,
what? I was
Tiny
shocked.
has Tiny has a Caucasoid mother. Tiny's mom
yeah,
is Caucasoid. Let's get that straight. She ain't got no black mama, so
yeah,
it
her
might be
mom's white,
different for her,
so
And it don't take much to turn out some of the dudes
mhm.
because they like
Mhm.
the freak too. He
I was
was raised.
like shocked that
He
that
was
was
raised
all.
by the television. Or were a lot of us raised by the television? It makes you
True.
wonder how it was affected, how we were. Just
But
hearing how
either
he was raised and having a parent, a lot of us have single or two-parent households, but he was raised in an atypical Black American household. That's my point. His father was actually around until he got deleted. But it's just the idea, like, damn, a lot of these dudes do this stuff in the industry, and we'll say, oh, well, that's what they do in Hollywood. But it ain't what they do in Hollywood no more because what's done in Hollywood, we see it now in our everyday society. It's almost blended. It actually, people are doing it now, and it's like become the norm. You know what I'm saying? So it used to be that what was done in Hollywood is taboo. Now I can say that what's done in Hollywood may be more Kaya Shay, mute your mic when you're up. It may be more how you say taboo in Hollywood, but you see some of that nonsense still going on in our daily lives. Stuff that you would have never seen before. Now you're seeing it's
Hmm.
becoming more normalized. Do I make sense? Do you understand what I'm saying, Shay?
Yeah, they're making it natural,
Yeah,
the unnatural, the
yeah.
the abnormal.
It's
they
becoming normal.
That's right, and they did that on purpose so we could see things over and over and over and over and over. And at
Right.
first, you can see something so crazy, be like, "What the hell? What?"
Mm,
But if you keep seeing it,
you
the
become
what
desensitized. That's what it's called,
yeah.
desensitized,
desensitized.
exactly.
Right. Well, how do we make those changes as Black women being young mothers? Because it's what can we do for the newer generation? Like a lot of you may be moms. My kids are grown or grandmoms. What can you do to like stave off some of that that mindset? What we have to make a change where the media or social media is not the main context. We have to make a change whether you have boys or girls to say no, we
Well,
something has to be done.
something has to the sacrifice, and it's not really a sacrifice, really. What I
Hmm.
know, even the owners of some of these industries, guess what? Their children don't even watch TV
That is fact. That is
and
true.
listen to certain things. Last A year ago, this doctor's father, I was like, oh, I'm getting scared because they keep showing all these videos over and over of people dropping dead, dying. And then I saw a video
Hmm.
of the ice melting, and they was walking across the ice and they just started sinking and
Hmm.
dying. They couldn't come back up. I thought it was going to be like a breathtaking movie. Man, by the time I was like a nervous wreck. And he was like, don't watch it. Don't watch
Right.
any of it. We don't watch all
American
that
Wait,
football
stuff.
wait, Shay,
great.
what movie was this? What movie?
Okay, it's like an ice movie, right?
Hmm.
You see the ice, you see the water, like you're in Alaska.
Hmm.
Excuse me, like you're in Alaska. And they were showing climate change, but they had a team there, environmental team, that was like in Alaska somewhere over there. And they were walking on the ice, and all of a sudden the men started sinking to the bottom,
Hmm.
and because the ice used to be solid,
Hmm.
but because of climate change, they sunk and a couple of them died.
Where was this at?
They,
Wait,
because
was
you
this
at
was I'm
first,
sorry,
listen,
Trick,
they
wait,
was
Shay, is
able
this a
to ride
movie
their.
or was this on the news? I don't
No,
understand.
this is a documentary movie.
Oh, okay.
They
Oh.
were able, usually you're able to drive along on the ice because
Hmm.
it's solid. So they've been there many years, different times. And this time they were sinking, they were standing on the ice and they sunk to the bottom. And it was hard for them to rescue the members of the team. So a couple of them died
Hmm.
because the water was so cold. It was hard to get them once your body, something with the weight of your body. And when you sink and it's ice cold, it's hard to rescue.
So what are you talking about, Shay? Like the earth is changing because a lot of the elements
Yes,
how we do is change. That's what you're saying. That
that's
is true.
what I'm saying. And when I saw it, because I thought it was like ice, water, oh, beautiful. I was like, I was traumatized
Mm. Yeah.
because
So
they was,
because we're changing up the very elements. Not only are we changing up in our physical flesh bodies, it's like the earth in and of itself is changing. That's what you're saying,
the earth
right?
is changing. That's right. And then eventually, I don't know if it was the same movie, but right after it showed the white ice just melting,
Mm.
mountains of ice just melting, where it has been frozen for centuries.
Um, American
And they
Holocaust.
did say the ice will
Mm-hmm,
carry um, diseases. It
mm-hmm.
carried, things from like the dinosaur time.
Read American Holocaust's statement. Oh, she dropped off. It says also, she said also laying up with certain groups do spell work, sex magic, our men, X work, our men not really in the know. That's why they run from spiritual conflict like that. We have to do rituals of protection over our people. I agree. That is something I am noticing too. American Holocaust. It's like they don't really want to. Shay, come back up when you can get your joint up. It's like they don't really want to deal with the spiritual aspects of stuff. When we start talking about spiritual stuff, it's like it automatically shuts down. More it becomes more heated than it becomes more heated than when we have conversations about colorism. It gets worse when we talk about spiritual stuff. It's like you're being stifled on that. So it's like that conversation within a lot of the spaces. It's like we can't talk about praying and God. I don't feel like we can't talk about it, but to talk about it, it becomes like a real touchy situation. I've noticed that too. And I think that's something that we do need to talk about on this space. As Black women, we should be able to express our spirituality or our belief in God, because it's like God is not going to help this situation. That's all we like to do is pray. And I am about praying. I pray every day, morning, noon, and night, as much as I can. That's just what I'm not gonna stop. But I do feel stifled in certain spaces where you can't really say that. It's like it's taboo to say that now. How do y'all feel that way? Do you feel like myself?
Now, when you would say read American, can you hear me?
Yeah.
When you was telling me to read American Holocaust
Hmm.
comment, which one? Because she has two different works. I mean, two different
Well, she
comments.
already read it. I already read it. She says, we are laying up with certain groups do spell work X magic. Our
That's
men
right. That's
really,
true.
they run from spiritual
Mhm.
convos like that. We have to do rituals of protection over our people, and I agree. I don't.
That's right. Yeah, because they do ritual. They do ritual work on people. Period. And that's also part of the industry.
Right.
right? So, but she's not the first person. If we're going to go back to Diddy, she's not the first person that said that. Many others have said that too, especially with men. I've seen some short videos where they got different rooms and they got that sadistic shit going on, which is part of a religious
Mhm,
ritual belief system also, which deals with the demonic Baphomet and all that stuff.
mhm,
Yeah, you're going to take part of that.
mhm. And don't get it twisted. I want to make this very clear. If you're a person who's not a believer, you're not, some people are not, maybe atheists, and you may be a Black American woman. I have no problem with women coming on that. You're still, this is a space where whatever you believe in, hopefully you don't believe in the devil, that you can express yourself. But I'm just saying, if a person is
Yeah.
about saying I'm down with that. But if there are some people who don't believe in God, and that's their business as
Mhm.
Black Americans, we got to respect that as well. That doesn't make you any less of a person. So it's up to you and whatever. But I do feel stifled in some places saying that, I pray or whatever. But if you don't pray, it's all good. It's no offense, whatever and however you believe. My
Mhm.
whole aspect is how we move and do things as Black American people. That's what I'm basically trying to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, so well, Pinky Wells just says she's an atheist. So,
That's
but
all
what
good.
I'm saying is, if you believe in those type of um lifestyle, it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna show, it's gonna take an effect, it's gonna have effect on you, and it is going to have an effect on others.
Mm-hmm.
So part of having that wealth and that money, yeah, that's what he took part in. And so if you're gonna be a part of him, now I'm talking about Cassie, you're gonna have to eventually take part of it. If he's taking care of you and you his chick or whatever you are, you're going to expect that. So, that's just the devil's playground.
So can we take it in the context of real life? Like I remember Jara had made a comment, and this was a while ago, so it's on the back of my mind, that if a man is paying for everything, providing everything, does that give him the right as a man to have ownership, or is this a partnership? What type, or is this stuff that we should be mindful of as Black American women? Because a lot of us say, I may be a woman who don't mind working side by side with my mate, and he's doing 75 and I'm doing 25. But
She
what if
doesn't
you,
have to stay.
no, I'm saying just us as Black American women. What is it if you got a man who does it all? How do you know that you're not getting yourself into a situation where this man is saying, "Okay, well, I'm paying everything, and this is the deal." How do you? Because I don't want to end up or have a young woman or be a woman ending up in a situation where you're like a Cassie. I'm not talking about on a celebrity basis. How do you staff that being just a regular woman, getting with someone who can probably handle it all? Is he wanting a woman, or is he wanting a slave, or what is it? How do we
Well,
look at situations like
I'm
that?
sure you know what time it is. It's up to you. You don't have to stay. Did that man kidnap you?
Right.
Are you under chains or and if you can't escape psychologically, then you get some psychological help.
Do you think Black American women are strong enough in our self esteem because of what we've been through with slavery that we can know the difference? Because we don't even know the difference if our men like us or not sometimes. How will we know if we running into touch these type of men
Now
who,
you mean to tell me
I'm just saying,
I am psychologically traumatized that the man says go sleep with that man and I'm going to do it over and over?
I wouldn't
There
say
was
that
no way
because
in escape. There's no excuse for that.
well, someone said her parents knew. So when we look at her situation,
Yes,
we're gonna
those her parents were prostituting her. Bottom line.
right. So her I don't even know what Kathy's ethnicity is. Is she a Black American? I don't even think she's a Black American.
No, I think she's more Latino.
Right. But you
Mixed.
also have a
Mm.
situation where we had with Aaliyah. That's a Black American. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna stick to the aspect of a Black American woman because I feel bad for her. I'm glad she got paid. Yippee, yippee, yay, I'm not negating that something happened to her. But how many Black
She
Americans?
could have left. You stayed 10 whole damn years. Get out of here. You stayed because of the lifestyle.
She did it
And
for
you
the
knew what that man wanted. Because it's no secret to how he is. Soon as you found out,
She stayed
you
for the
could
money.
have left.
But she wasn't leaving. But she got her payment in the end. She got paid big time.
Hmm.
$100 million. She asked
Or
for
they
30.
could have set that shit up. You know
She
how it
got
is back in the day, yo. You know what you gotta do. Stay in the game and watch. It'll all pay off.
right. Denise said if a man is in your head, whether it's psychological or monetary, until she gets him out of her head, he got her. Yeah, they work on you and they get in your dang head. They run your ass like a donkey. That's what I'm saying. How do we make sure we don't wind up in a situation, or our daughters don't wind up in a situation where this man gets in their head? Because
Well,
with Black men, we're dealing with men from different origins, not just Black men. This country
at
is
some
full.
point, God will wake your ass up. Some point along the line, you know, they say the Lord makes a way of an escape.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, how do we
that's
find?
on her. No, she
How
did
do
it for
we?
money, like Pinky Wells said. She did it for money. It's just that simple. But
Well, how do we? How
Miss
do
D
you
said we shouldn't
find
teach
this?
our girls to depend on men completely.
Right. That's what I'm saying. How do we combat so we don't have young girls? Because this is the reason why I'm saying it. You have these men out here stalking to get young girls like a Cassie. They want somebody they can groom. This
Hmm.
is what they're out here doing. So how do you tell your daughter? So, Muff Cassie got her fucking money. She good. She good. She got enough money to pay for the goddamn psych from 30 million. She's gonna be all right. But how do you help other girls who may be like our daughters who could run into this? Because these men are out here literally for women of that age. They looking for somebody to groom.
And that's a problem.
Yeah.
The
Pinky
women are also,
said,
the young women are looking for somebody for them to take care of them.
well, how do we keep them from getting in our damn head? Because I do want somebody who can provide and take care of me, but I ain't trying to be no sex slave and be doing have no man doing me or doing something close to what he did. You know what I'm saying? But everybody can't pay $100 million like Diddy. I'm just talking about the average everyday bro.
Right, being
A
for
young
real.
girl, yes,
Hmm.
to a young girl who may not have as much, and this man is showing her the basics, and then all of a sudden he turned cold. You know, how do you compensate that, or how do you how you say block that as a mom who has a daughter who may wind up in this situation? Because Cassie's parents definitely let her go into that, and they got paid. They got paid in the shade, but I'm trying to prevent young because they're out here stalking. You hear them? They on to getting young girls because they don't miss their mark.
Yeah, that's rough.
We have to give a good moral foundation. That's what she was saying. That is true. And some of us have to know what we have to look for morally. A lot of us don't have boundaries, expectations, strong how you say standards and morals.
And then you gotta have, and it depends too if the child listen to you. You got one away with childs, and they just want to be out there, and you
So
tell
I
them don't
think
do that. This is
so
what's happening, and they don't listen.
right? We can give them the foundation so that when they muff up, then maybe
Yeah.
they can find a way of escape. Because
Hmm.
some will go through. I get it, but sometimes we too, as women, just because they're younger, but look at who we are as
Hmm.
middle aged and older women. You may be out here dating as well. It's everybody can be caught up in this bullshit,
Hmm.
literally. Because until you drop, you still are on that market for some other groups or some many. How do we evade that stuff? Because they'll be like, oh, you too old. Some Black women who are of age are still vulnerable and still making those mistakes. Not as
That's right.
relevant as a young girl, but shit, some of us, you've been dating feel that long, you can get caught up
Hmm.
too. caught up
That
in some.
is true.
Wasn't there a movie that who made a movie? What's his name? What's his name? Tyler Perry. And she invited the young boy in, and his mom and him. It was Alicia Rashad playing the part of the mom, and they setting her up to get her shit. That stuff was like wow, because he saw that she was one of them desperate women. She had some wealth, she had money, she had and he slid his young ass in there, and him and his mom was setting her up. Those situations still happen too.
Yeah, that's true too. Mm.
So these are like things that how do we handle it in different stages of our lives as Black women? Because some women do still date. Some women are celibate, single, and
Hmm.
themselves, but there are some women who still date.
Hey, Charlie Shaw and Mama Deb just showed up.
Hey Charlie, hey Mama Deb, what you gotta say, Kay?
Hey, Charlie. Hey,
No,
Mama Deb.
Hey, Mama
I was
Deb.
just, yeah, I was just listening to them for now because I gotta go charge my phone in a moment, which I don't feel like doing
You
because
gotta
I'm
get
not at my, yeah, I'm not at my sister's place. So now, if I
Mm.
plug in my phone, it's kind of awkward.
Okay.
you out and about again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but these are conversations that we can have on how not to be as vulnerable in these spaces that we have to deal with, because again, we're talking about young girls, but we're also talking about ourselves, because there are some women who are out here dating. They done did their celibacy, single, they retired, they're like, I'm wide open. But you can also be just as vulnerable as that young girl if you're not out here and don't know the
That's
tricks of
true.
the game. Played
Any
like a
one of us
motherfucker.
can.
Yeah, get played like a motherfucker. That's what I'm saying too, because we ain't cock up, our tongue ain't cleaved to the roof of our mouth. So it's like, okay, so how do you get past? Because it's like the dating scene or being out here for companionship or whatever you may be allowing to come in. It's like all a game. It's a head game, and it's like everybody's out here on the prowl. It's not necessarily for genuine relationship. It's all about, to me, it's all about what you can get. Is that's
Hmm.
what it's like piss in this goddamn dating pool. It's not about love and sincerity and being together. It's about literally how they can get over and get what they gotta get, whether you're young, old, or in between. What do you think? What do you
I
think?
think everybody has to be careful and just watch who you with, and you can't stop enjoying life. It depends on who you are, where you are in life,
Right,
and life is still taking a chance either way you put it.
right,
But just look out for the signs, and it's difficult. It's hard. It's not easy. Um,
right.
and the thing is, we're reaping the repercussion of the consequences of our forefathers' parenting skills too.
Mhm.
We got to think of that, and not only that, look at how, if we want to talk about music, like everything, not everything, but a lot of the music, even back then, was sexualized and over sexualized.
It's
And that's
dirty.
something that we
It's
used to, yeah, we used to listen to all the time. And
mm-hmm,
so we go to these concerts and we support them when we talk about R. Kelly and the rest of the guy, and they have some nice music, but they also have some over sexualized music too. And some
right,
of that stuff is stripper type music too. Like somebody get on the stage, look at little Chris, you know what I'm saying? You sing it to them and
right,
then it becomes like a strip tea thing.
right,
Do you get what I'm saying? Even with some of the college performances, with the tights, it still becomes sexualized and over sexualized. So when you think
mm-hmm,
about it on that note, because if you go back 2 generation before, things wasn't sexualized like that.
mm-hmm,
And especially with the black community, but became more black community sexualized in the
mm-hmm,
80s and 90s. Because when I look at some of the entertainment for um, the different culture, European cultures,
Mm-hmm.
depending on what they're showing. You know, you've been in the pornography business, so you know.
Mm-hmm.
So when they didn't really have much access to that, there was a little difference.
I was
I'm
not
not saying
I was
that they
not
weren't
doing no
exposed,
pornography.
but not
I was working
as
behind the
much.
scenes in the pornography business. I wasn't giving up no ass. We know I ain't giving nobody no ass. I was in there working
Yeah, it
behind the
does
scenes with
start
the
at
best
home,
job.
but still things was still over sexualized. The vision of it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, at certain communities, you when you was a certain age, a child stayed in her place, and she didn't even see a boy and girl kiss. You understand what I'm saying? Certain things you stayed in your place. You snuck and you saw it, but it wasn't like everyday life.
Right. I'm saying that on the warning signs and the red flags because we as Black American women, whether you're a mother, whether you're older, younger, in between, a lot of us are vulnerable. So how are we going to teach our daughters in some sense? You know what I'm saying? We can
Well,
teach them.
they said lead by an example. So you're supposed to be leading by some type of example.
Okay, but a lot of times we don't know the warning signs either. Okay, phone charging. Got you, Kay. A lot of times we don't know the warning signs. I look at by example for our daughters is watching us fuck up. So I'm gonna be honest. Some of us, our daughters see our mistakes. Can we be real? They may see the mistakes or the errors that we make as mothers sometimes. Not all. I mean, I kept a lot of my dating fiascos away from my children. Half the time they didn't know who I was dating, when I was dating, none of that stuff. So in a lot of ways, I felt like I taught her a lot of different things, but there are a lot of things I didn't. And my daughter was going through her difficult period. You know, that teenage
Mhm.
bullshit. So it's like a lot of things I'm not even quite sure what she's picked up. So these are things that we have to talk about when
Mhm.
they want to tell you, like they said, like you say, because there are things. Let's be honest that we may have done that we will never tell our parents. That shit will go to the goddamn grave. We ain't telling them nothing. You know. And then you wonder, okay, I hope that she's getting the proper advice, or sometimes it's a doorway open where she can talk to me about things. And there are things sometimes that she's telling me that I never knew what was going on, because you'll think again, we're in different stages of our lives, but we're women nonetheless. There are women our age group, in between older and younger, who are still dating. And it's like the stuff out here is just crazy. So it's like the red flags from our day is not the red flags that are happening now. This stuff and who's all out here is just totally um it's a messy, dingy, dirty pool. That's what I'm saying. I'm not dating, but I'm pretty sure there are women out here who are, and it's like some cray shit that's going down. And this is a space that I would like Black women to bring that up. What have you experienced? What is there to look out for? What are the new things that's happening for women who may be out here getting their feet wet and saying, yes, I am in the line for dating A, B, C, and D. Me personally, no, I'm for my peace of mind. But there are women, like, we're in different phases in our lives where they say, oh, I wanna go out, and I do may want to date. I'm not trying to start, but I'm sorry, but all this degeneracy started when America became flooded with immigrants. This is true, Mama Dad. This is what I'm talking about. This is true. And we had our own degeneracies. Don't get it twisted, but this type of degeneracy, you hit the hammer on the nail. This is stuff that we don't necessarily have the experience to recognize, because their game ain't our game. Their game is funky. It's straight nasty. That's what I'm saying. What do you say, Shay? What do you think?
If you know, sometimes you gotta seek answers in meditation,
Right.
and
He's like, I don't know. We gotta pray this one through.
yep,
This
for
shit's so
real.
bad. We gotta pray. Like, look, that is true. You better pray, meditate, whatever the hell you gotta do, because some of this stuff is like, it's different. That's what I'm saying. It's different. Like we don't know a lot of these people and their languages, the whole 9 yards. You can hear black men in the background. That's why you need to just stick with the black man. You want to be going through this bullshit because you know how the black man is. This bullshit that they doing is something different. So I can hear it now. But now,
Yeah, and Mama Deb, to your point, some cultures are quick fast,
yeah,
which I mentioned before. Like some of them be hitting up their daughters. Like I
that's
said,
the
on that
Volvo
note,
set. The Volvo Polo set
and
on my face.
yeah, and some of them do hit up their daughters. I said that a couple of years ago,
Yeah. Tay,
and
when you want to come up, come back up after you charge. But go ahead, sure.
and here's the thing too. Yes, some of them have a fast lifestyle at a younger age. Some women were exposed to that type of trauma, and especially culturally, like they'll say, "Oh, it's good that we connect together, have sex."
Mm-hmm.
Our parents let us do that, and our grandparents let us do that, and our grandparents just turned their head when cousin, was in the groove. Or our
Mm-hmm.
grandparents, not just our parents, our grandparents let it go down like that. Oh yeah, well, friend such and such is in the room playing piano. Go ahead, go talk to him. So those
Mm-hmm.
type of things go down. Let's be realistic. And in some cultures, it's okay. It's okay to explore yourself.
Oh, mm-mm. Mm-mm.
And you go to school with that person, or you become friends with that person, or you might go to their house, and then you've been exposed and been tampered with.
Right.
In some cases, oh, don't say anything. That's their family. That's their belief system. That is the Maya. Oh, I didn't want to say it, but that is, I'm just going by what someone else told me too and what they experienced. All right. And some of them want to um, massage their own children. It's some like sick shit like that. I'm going to put it to you that way.
Right.
I will pass a freaking law. Your ass would never do it again. Put it that way. But
Mm-hmm.
it's okay because that's their culture. You know what I'm saying? It's all right.
Right.
And
Right.
now, so what I'm saying is the exposure. And exposure
Mm-hmm.
is traumatizing. And the question is, how do you deal with that? That's my thing. Because I see and I hear the stories all the time. So
This is
now that we're grown folks, depending on your belief system, some people don't care. To be honest with you, yeah, I wanted to hit that, even though he was, even though he was using me, but that's the
mm-hmm.
best use I had on my life. Oh shit!
It is what it is.
It
It
is what
is.
the hell it is.
Um, yeah, and that can put you vulnerable if it's been a long time. You can be
That's
put
right.
in a state of mind because you're open and you got to make sure that that bottom layer don't lead your mindset. This is things that we got to look at as women, especially if you've been outside of the physical realm of dating and not have been physically touched. That puts you in a very vulnerable position. I can honestly say that as black women, do not go out and date without any type of protection or any type of covering around you. If you are a woman who has not been sexually active for a long time, being around someone of the other persuasion can arouse things and take you out of your better judgment, if you know what I mean, especially if it's been a long time. Make sure you have some accountability around you because it's like you're a young virgin out here again wide open, and it's like they can smell it, they know it, and it's like you start to tip your hand on a lot of different things. So like she was saying in this, have someone around you that you can like make it more where you have a point of escape, because you don't want to give in to a certain situation that you're not ready for, or a person that you just was trying to have just a regular date or dinner date with, and the next thing you know, you're doing something that you regret, and you just meant to go out to like see who this person was he interested in you, or the whole 9 yards, and the next thing you know, you sacrifice your peace and your mentality and your body for a fucking nut. So I'm just saying that from experience. These are things to talk about, because even though we're talking about young girls, there are women who are in a certain age bracket who's saying, okay, I've been celibate for a long time, I'm healed, I'm ready to get out here and try my hand at dating or seeing what's out here, and then all of a sudden you wide open like, woo, you cannot. We have to take precautions as well. But I do say, as Black women, set up a set up standards for yourself. You have to
Right.
have boundaries, expectations, high moral standards, because right about now the moral standards in this country is extremely low. You have to have high moral
That's
standards, and you have
high
to
moral
follow
standards.
through on it. It cannot be just, it has to be high moral standards. What's out here is just crazy. And a lot of us are vulnerable as women. And this is the thing, as Black American women, many of us don't look our age group. So they can't tell what age we are, because we age very well, we age gracefully, and you don't want to have somebody to take that piece from you, to take your what you have done and put into yourself and just toss it aside like it's just something common. And that's for your young girls, middle-aged women, older women, whatever stage you're in. We are, everybody knows and watches us as Black American women. That's what I'm saying. We're studied by everyone, men, women from all different cultures, and it's like everybody's watching us, but we don't give a damn about what they're doing. And that's literal. We don't care, but we're being studied on the way we move, the way we think, how we eat, how we dress, all of these different things. And it's like our life is just compiled of, as Black American women,
Right.
doing what we need to do to get by.
Mhm.
And this is a space for us to also learn how to watch what's going on around us, whether it be men or women from other group, not just men, but women too, because we're being watched from all ends. And I never thought that. I'm like, damn, we are copied and cosplayed like a mother figure. It's like the doppelgackers walking all around here just saying and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And you don't want to get caught up in the situations that can cause or unsafe um atmosphere. That's my point.
That's right. That makes sense.
Yeah. So what's going
Mama
on, everybody?
Deb said they smell vulnerable. That's right.
Yeah, they do. They smell vulnerability. And I think a lot of us as Black American women, we're very vulnerable. Many of us. It's like a fucking sweet scent of, there it is. They're going innocent one. Go get her ass. And that's how we are, because we tend to be too kind hearted. I feel like, in my opinion. I think we
Yeah.
always look out for the good in people, and we don't necessarily. I'm not saying you got to look out for the bad, but we've been looking out. We have. I think we're at that stage, people too much. It's now time to look out for everything, and we've been looking for the good that we failed to see when there were warning signs or alerts where this person or these persons were not necessarily for our best interest. We, in some sense, as Black Americans, was in that relationship like Cassie was with Diddy, in a relationship with
Right.
these immigrants where we were getting abused.
That's right.
Well, how did we stay so long in it? We just thinking they did that. Oh well, they all our skin tone, and we gonna just stick it out because maybe it'll change. And these motherfuckers got worse. You know, it's quite alluring to the predator. It does. Wait, they know we are unprotected. Yeah, they do know we're unprotected. That is true. The most unprotected, it does have its own aura, and it's quite alluring to the. Yeah, this is true. That sweet scent of vulnerability, like we're like sitting fucking ducks. That's what I'm getting tired of, because I'm like, and I think that helped. That dissuades a lot of Black
Mm-hmm.
Americans. get out there and want to date or see. It's like we got our back up and we got our fists up, and it's like So we have to have some. We have to put up a sign. We have to. I don't know how to put up that aspect where we're not showing that sign of vulnerability, because they can smell it, they can detect it, they can see it. It's like it's strange. We have to find a way that you're not giving off that signal, where you're not predator meat. And it's not just black men, it's other groups of men here. And like I said, they're on the hunt for women. I've seen that a lot, as we have been flooded with, as Mama Dab says, so many immigrant groups. I wish I could shut down the sexy reds and the, yeah, that would be nice to shut that down. The sexy reds and the Sukihanas that puts our daughters out here to be like these sexual fantasies. It's becoming like crazy. We do have to shut down a lot of different things, and talking to your daughters, your sisters, or whoever you got to talk to, another female, you have to come up with certain guidelines on how to make yourself not be easy hunted prey.
That's right.
We have to learn how to start putting up certain shields, and it's not just in the dating aspect and realm. It's putting up certain shields when you're just doing simple everyday life. I'm hearing that we're being watched on that aspect too. We're just going out regular grocery shopping, going to go shopping for clothes, and these men and are looking for women who are by themselves, just going about like they're lottie da. These
Mm.
are also aspects of where you could be approached. Like I had a young lady, it's my like work baby, and she was parking her car, coming out the parking lot, and there was a lot of people around, but she's doing her normal day-to-day routine, not paying attention. All of a sudden she felt
Mhm.
like a presence. And again, it was broad daylight, and who's trying to come her direction to try to grab her ass up?
Mm.
But and she didn't turn around and look. She said, and all of a sudden her instincts said just haul ass, and she was running. But it was like he did not even care that it was broad daylight. So if they'll do this in broad daylight, when I'm saying you have to have
Mhm.
your essence of vulnerability and showing who you are, is that sweet scent is on you on an everyday basis, just when you going out doing normal regular stuff. Again, like you said, we're not just here with our men. These are other groups of men who have been let into the country by the magnitude, and they looking for tail.
Predators.
They looking for tail.
That's right.
So be mindful on how you move. You have to keep your head on a swivel, and
Mhm.
and and be mindful on how you date, because you may be thinking you dating him, and then he brings somebody else. Again, black women don't look their age. And like someone said, we are unprotected in a lot of different ways. So in the way in which we move, the way we date, the way we go out, we have to start making some some very strict changes in how we used to think about life in America, because life in America has changed as we know it. And you hear about it on these spaces all the time, where people are being stalked, finding things in their car handles, all kinds of shady shit that we're not used to. You just going to open your car door, and all of a sudden you
Mhm.
pass because somebody done put some damn hanky in it to get some ass, or whatever the case may be. So it's a lot of things that we have to change up on, and um be more write down a list on things that on how you move. Change up the way and how you're looking at things around you. I think a friend of mine was telling me about it, and she was like, which I tend to sometimes just sit out and just survey my neighborhood and see which way they can be coming from. Because that person, you busy just going about your daily routine, but people are watching you. That's how sometimes they can go into a certain car and take your car or rob your
Mhm.
house. You just
That's
going out your
true.
door, ain't nobody looking, and they're watching you the whole time. And that's what we have been enduring as Black American women. Everybody's been watching how we move, so much so that we have women who are of a different ethnic group with similar skin
Mhm.
mimicking how we move and how we do things, and then they basically cosplay it and then do certain things in our image to get what she may want. You follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's true.
the black man grabbed her and tried to take her away. She was fighting, and all the black men just walked away. Where you live at, Pinky? You're in New York? That's a shame. I seen a black woman at a train station attacked. A black man grabbed her and tried to take her away. She was fighting all the black men around her. Just that's also that's some fucked up shit right there. Can you imagine?
Oh, no, yeah, yeah, that's crazy. Where did this happen at, Pinky?
Oh, in Los Angeles County.
Los
Wow.
Angeles.
That sounds yeah. Damn. I had also black women need to get pepper spray and
Yeah.
other things of protection to put on you and around you. And I can't say the pow, or something that can give you some type of leverage if you have to get out of Dodge. Also, if you can and you can afford to take self defense classes, find some way because, like I said, the world as we know it has changed. And to me, these groups of people that they brought here are hypersexualized, unlike
Mm-hmm.
what we're used to. And you're thinking, oh, I'm just a regular old raggedy nappy headed black woman, and somebody else you looking like some exotic piece of vulnerable fruit, and they like look at that black thunder ass, that chocolate skin, and next thing you trying to haul ass like an elk. My legs can't go because I'm a big mama. And then if you had them bad knees, I don't know, some of you might can chuck, others might can't. You gonna have to think differently, thinking, oh, I just look um average in our community to some of our males we do, but to other males outside of our group, no, we look like a rare piece of candy that
Okay.
they've seen before. Just saying.
Mm.
So like I was saying, we have this would be a space where we can air out things that may be on our mind, solutions. I'll try to come up with a space that we can talk about certain things that we don't want to talk about on YouTube, on Patreon, but I have to get YouTube mastered. I gotta get used to, yes, Trina, the amount of women walking around like shivery ain't dead is cray. Um, I guess like shivery ain't dead is cray. Yeah, we need to move more circumspectively in how we do stuff. We have
That's
to
true.
mindset. That's what I'm saying. I'm hearing too
That's
many crazy
true.
things in the city that I live in. Pinky lives in Los Angeles, so she's hearing stuff. She's seeing stuff where she's at, and that's a shame. A white man hit him in the head with his brief. Damn, the black dudes ain't do nothing, and the white man hit him in the head with a briefcase. That's sad. That's a good thing, but that's also a sad thing that other
Yeah, that's
melanated
sick to
men,
me.
other melanated men was around, and they was like, "Oh well, that chick on her own." That's some fucked up shit. That's scary. That's
That
scary.
is scary.
But that don't mean that
Now, what would have happened
all
if she
people
pulled
again.
out a gun?
You can't say. Can we
I
say
mean,
that?
if she pulled out
A pow
a
pow.
gaz- a pow pow and pow pow, then what?
I guess it would be self defense, but I don't know. I think Los Angeles is one of them states that you can't do that because they
Mm.
have certain gun law. I mean, certain pow pow laws. There you go. I have to say pow pow. God damn, this platform and these stations. You can't say this. You gotta say deleted. You can't say one more. You gotta say graped. You can't say this. Yeah. I don't know. Know the pow pow laws in the state that you come from, so you don't divide anything because you're not trying to end up behind bars while you're trying to gain certain aspects of protection. So wherever you live at, know the pow pow laws. You have to know your pow pow laws so that you don't wind up getting in trouble. Yeah, she said they're lax. I think in Dallas they open with they shit, but in a lot of the blue states they are very restrictive when it comes to you carrying your pow pow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she said pow pow laws in California are lax. So again, you need to know the laws for your state in references to pow pow. You don't want to get in trouble. Make sure you get your pow pow from an authorized seller so it don't have no bodies on it because you ain't
Oh
trying to
shoot.
go down for no shit. Don't go and get your
That's
shit
true.
from HUD and next thing you know you got some bodies on your shit and you spending time. Get your shit legally.
Legally.
Yes. Make sure you go to a pow pow range.
That's right.
Yeah, and it's important. I mean, what person, neighborhoods. Yeah, I always tell this is a good idea. I always, yeah, these are good ideas. And I didn't do the safe words, but I did make sure that my son, family members, everybody knows where I'm at. I get this mother frigga's car, license plate. I give his address. I give his name. Whatever you can find on whoever you with, find a picture so they can know what he looked like. Let your family members know what you had on when you left the house, all of these different things.
Mm.
I even put on my phone,
Mm.
what do you call that thing, a family share, so they can see where I'm moving around it. And there are other things that we could talk about off of here, but yeah, you have to make sure that someone knows where you're at all times. This is
Mm.
not the time to be going on your little rendezvous and nobody don't know where the fuck you at. You probably won't come the fuck back. So you have to be
That's
um,
true.
more selective on how you move. And even if it's somebody, even if it's somebody that you know, because everybody, look at everybody is suspicious at this point. It could be somebody that you've been dating for a while. Everybody's
That's
suspect.
right. You
Right
can't.
about that, people turning on
Yeah.
motherfuckers. Shit is getting wild.
Yep.
You know, over the simplest shit. They done been husband and wife, done broke the hell up. He done had a whole girlfriend, and now the girl done been found in the doggone what do you call it,
Hmm.
John? She been found in the storage house. Well, what the
Yeah, I
hell was
saw
that?
that video.
That
Yeah.
shit. I'm like, what the hell? So I'm like, I don't know what's going on. You thinking it's over? He coming for his ex, but you done got a whole girlfriend. Why you delete the ex? You know what I'm saying? And then threw her behind in the storage house. This shit is crazy. So everybody is suspect. You can't not even say, oh, I've been dating him for a while. It's all no. It's like our whole mindset has to change. It's like you got to amp it up and step it a lot. We
Mhm.
don't want to walk around paranoid. You don't want to be scared, but you damn sure got to walk around prepared. You can't just walk
Aware
around
and
willy. Yeah,
prepared. That's right.
we've been walking around a lot of times too lackadaisical, like, oh, we're in
Mhm.
America. It is what it is. No, America has changed, and the atmosphere and the elements around us has changed
Mhm.
significantly. I've seen where they running up on mother friggers in broad daylight trying to get some tail. It's like there's some crazy shit going on. So I
Yeah.
look at like, wow, what the hell? So,
Mhm.
because there used to be a point in time I would take my time and walk from where I go in from my nail salon to my cousin's house, and I started looking and I started feeling eerie. And some said, "Pick up your pace." I'm like, "What?" I pick up my pace, and not realizing it was someone watching. And I'm like, "Damn!" And like I said, I'm a chunk, and I'm saying to myself, I'm just figuring, okay, ain't that far? I can walk. But just in that time period, I left, but I didn't let her know. Oh, I was coming. I just said, oh, let me just walk and come. You know what I'm saying? And I should have probably
Mhm.
let her know I was coming, but nothing happened. Needless to say, but it was the aspect I saw certain things happening just from that short little distance of my walk. I'm like, this is weird. Something ain't right. So you can
Yeah.
kind of
That's
tell.
right.
And when I spoke to my cousin about it, she said, "Yeah, it's these vans around here and they yanking up." And I'm like, "Van," but I felt something. You know how you feel something different? It's like, wait a minute, this shit ain't feeling right. And you know how the hairs, you feel that discernment that's on you, and it's like, something about to happen. And something just said, "Pick up your pace, pick up your pace." And I started picking up my pace, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" But I never again did that again. I'll make my appointment separate from my hair, my nail appointment. I go from one to the other. I do not take that walk like I did before, because since I did that, I felt like something was different. And it was so weird that she said that this van was going around and I didn't even know was going around yanking up chicks. I'm like,
What? Mm.
So, and you thinking, oh, your big ass ain't nobody gonna try and get you, huh? You don't know. Man, stomped out of me. And kept
That's
looking.
right. You don't know. That's true.
I stomped a snake out for me. The black man kept looking at his phone and said, "It's not poisonous." I was so embarrassed for us. Oh my gosh. Really? A white man stomped a snake out for me. Was it poisonous, Mama Dab? Open carry. Yeah, Mama Dab is in Texas. And so is Miss D. What kind of snake was it that he stomped? I don't mean no harm. I'd have left your ass there. I ain't fucking with no snake. I don't know nothing about no steak, but that was so nice that he stomped it out. But I don't mean no harm. Shit. As black women is why I used to frequent red pill space to try and have conversations with black men and try to bring us
Mm.
together. That's good. How did it work out when you tried to go in these spots, Mama Dad? Was they open to having protection for us, or was they saying
Mhm.
only certain women were deserving of protection? Because that's nice if they'll protect some, but I don't expect them to really protect. I think black men are very selective. They'll protect their mother, the woman that they're with, their children, um,
Mhm.
women in their, but I don't think they protect women that they don't know. They're selective, and black women need to understand that they're not going to protect you if they don't know you like that. That
And
type
at
of shit.
one time, men used to be like that, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now, as black women, you have to work with what you have. And do what you got to do. And at one time, they probably was that a little bit more than now, but I think they was always like this. They protect who they know, not necessarily all women. So I don't know about that.
You know,
So
that's why I walk with God, because you just never know.
you
I mean,
don't.
I've been in some situations where, thank God there was somebody standing somewhere along the line somehow,
Right.
and it helped the situation.
Hmm. Pinky was saying females and their families are not protected either. Dependent, some are not. Sometimes you got to watch that Uncle Bud or whoever. So it's a lot that I feel like as Black American women we have to watch out for.
Watch out
Unfortunately,
for everything and everybody that you don't
yeah,
know either.
right. And sometimes some men don't want to jump into situations.
Hmm.
Denise has the point. Whereas the dude go and help the chick, and then she wind up attacking the dude that came to help her. So you got to be mindful of that shit too. I think it's best that Black American women form that alliance of protection that she's aware of in her family, her friends, in her circle, and that's going to be up to us to have that conversations. It can be male and female. We have to have a group of women where we're accountable and know our whereabouts to have this protection around us. But um to expect random men to jump in, that would be a blessing, but that way may not necessarily happen because sometimes they don't do that for melanated women, and sometimes people just ain't gonna do that because they just ain't trying to put their life on the line if they don't know you. This is the fact that we do have to look at, you know.
We all have to be careful, be vigilant, and stay in
Yeah.
prayer. Because I'm going to talk about prayer, because that helps me, save me. Whether you
Hmm.
or not, but yeah, that's these folks out here.
Yeah, the
You don't
elements
know
have
who's
tremendous.
taking what. God, it's just just exactly how the enemy, confusion, craziness, mental illness.
Yeah, that's the new. That's the most rampant saying. Everybody mentally fucking ill. Everybody is ill. Mentally illness. I just
And we're
don't want
not going to say everybody ill. We're going to say a lot of people are ill. We're going to try to speak this thing out. Be careful what we say. A lot of people are ill. I don't want to say everybody ill, but a lot of people are ill. Plus, with this COVID, plus with being on the internet, plus with personal experience, we need help. And God is going to have to train us to be the help.
to.
Bottom
Right.
line.
Yeah, I'm not feeling this one. They were non-responsive in the conversation. Wait a minute, what was this? Oh, they were non-responsive. Oh wow, I heard that.
Not responsive.
To the protection. Some of them are. Now, some of these men in these spaces are not necessarily Black American men. Some of them are men from other cultures. Let's make that clear. You have men who will stand there and film us with their phone. Yeah, I seen that. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's you know, I don't know what that's it. But I'm saying they've been programmed, like they've been under they're programmed.
Right. She
That's
said
the
men need to
scary
look
part.
out, but if you constantly see the whole behavior, yeah, that is true. And some of those women are and are not us. That is true. By these women coming here cosplaying like crazy, we are all considered just Black women. And I'm not saying that Black women can't act like no hoes, but some of these women ain't us.
That's right.
A lot of these women ain't us. Comparing, depending on what you may see it at. Yeah, I'm eating some dry ass chips. Protection, but also better relation between Black men and Black women. I think we can start there on an understanding. When it comes to the protection aspect, I think we need to work out that as Black women behind the scenes. If we do get protected by someone, that would have been that's the blessing. But we need to elevate our own standards and give signals that signifies that this is a Black American woman where we can maybe be there for one another when a Black American woman calls out this cold word that we know. So we'll come to the aid and defense of our own, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink. You follow what I'm saying? For sure, they aren't us. Yeah, in a lot of ways they're not. I'm not saying we don't have our whole behavior, but we have we have a different way in which we carry ourselves, and maybe we can come up with a word that we know behind the scenes that we can utilize if we're out and about. And you may have that aspect that it may be one of your Black American sisters around that you can yell something for help. These are things that we can also come up with for a protection mechanism as Black American women.
And we don't
And
know
this
all the time our cell phones. Shoot.
I think he was like throw a scarf in the air. Girl, if you think sometimes women put put in situations. I don't sometimes women put in situations. Yeah, we have to wait a minute, completely separate. Yeah, that's why we're doing delineation. This is why we're doing delineation. But in the meanwhile, until delineation occurs, Miss D, we have to come up with different codes, sayings, whatever the fuck, to have this extra help that we may need when we're out and about. And have that discernment that when we yell out their terms, somebody who's a part of our group can, or whatever signal that we do, if it's a person within our ethnicity, they can give out um, some extra help without putting themselves at risk and yet getting us the help or rescue that we may need. Charlie, I was looking at Charlie. Charlie is pretty. I meant to say that the last time. She got a pretty little face. Miss Shaw. Sure. Yeah. We have to come up with something now. Because this stuff is like, I was getting to the point that I was actually yeah, we do have to do that. We're learning not to call them Black. This is something we're still working on, Miss D. We've been calling them Black for so long that they go into that context. We all know we're learning on these spaces. They are not Black. They are African and Caribbean, and you call them by their ethnic group: Jamaican, Haitian, Nigerian, whatever the fuck. Do not call them Black. I'm learning it myself. It's something that we got to break ourselves out of the habit of doing. We've been doing this for the longest. So this is something we're going to be working on. It's like so much we got to learn, so much we got to do, so much we got to adjust our minds too. It's like a lot. But whatever you do, try not to get overwhelmed as Black women. That's why I also said Black American women, what is on your mind? Because sometimes with everything changing so fast, so rapidly, and the world around us, you can get anxiety, you can get depression. We don't want to fall into these states. And if you find that you're going through that, that's another thing we're going to go over. What are the signs of depression? How to veer off anxiety, panic attacks, all of this stuff. Because sometimes all of this stuff around us can be overwhelming and cause your whole state of mind and your body to in ways that is not healthy. So we have to find a period and a point where whatever your trigger is, however you know how to calm yourself down to relax. These are things that we need to talk about as well. How to stave off depression, know when you're depressed, how not to get so overwhelmed that you have a panic attack or get anxiety, because ain't nobody trying to have no high blood and heart attacks. Because again, seeing all of this negativity around us, feeling all of this negative auras around us, we are
That's
spiritual
right.
women. We have a spiritual, how you say, opening, and we suck all of that stuff in. You can feel when the atmosphere around you is literally changing, whether you believe
Right.
or not. You can feel it, and
Right.
sometimes you get overwhelmed by your atmosphere changing because you're like, wait a minute, this is not the neighborhood that I remember how I grew up. Things are like rapidly changing to the point that it's like you feel like sometimes you can't catch your breath and keep up.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like when I go outside my door, it's like, is this my motherfucking neighborhood? It's like weird. I don't know if anybody feels the same way. It doesn't feel like, it feels like, that's why I said clarity dimensions. Feels like I'm in another dimension. That's why I named it that. It's like things around me are not necessarily clear. Then some things are, but it looks like I'm literally like walking in another realm, another dimension. It's like, yeah, this is my neighborhood, this is my home, but it's like when I wake up sometimes in the middle of the morning or at night, or if I just go outside just to go catch some fresh air, it's like the 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 air of desertion or whatever you call it, division is so thick. It's just weird. I don't know if y'all feel the same way. It just doesn't feel the same.
It doesn't feel right at all. Yes, absolutely. You're right. Not the same at all.
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me? Yeah, you can hear.
Yeah,
It's not the same.
whatever you do, make sure your peace is elevated in your life. Make sure nothing interrupts your peace. You must maintain your peace. This is very essential in our survival. Make sure you put yourself first. Whatever you need to do to pamper yourself, to edify yourself. Yes, put God on the forefront if you believe in God, but make sure you put yourself as a human being first, because if you go down, you're not no help to nobody else. So this is something we're not used to doing as Black women. We used to putting everything and everybody above us.
Tell
However
me
you,
about it. Yep.
yes, find your peaceful place. Learn how to do something that is specifically for you. Put 75% of what you need into yourself. It's no more 25 you, 75% other things. You have to give yourself more, because what's coming up is too thick. The air of this I don't know what to call it. It's like fucking pea soup or whatever. You feel it. It's too thick. You have to spend more time on your mental health, on your physical health, on your spiritual health. You have to start giving yourself way more of your care, love, self-love. That's what I'm saying. No more practicing self-hate, self-love, because the only one who can love you more than you is God, but you need to love yourself. Make sure you
Come on,
love
that's
yourself
right.
by doing things that can help you mentally, spiritually, and physically. However you got to do it. Everyone requires different needs, but make sure you pamper yourself as a Black woman. That's something we need to learn how to do. Whether it's go getting your nails done, going to get a massage, whether it's taking a warm bath, meditation, I don't know, whatever the fuck you got to do. Do whatever you do to keep your peace and sanity.
That's
Figure it
right.
out. But
You're
no
right.
more putting ourselves last. That's what I'm basically saying.
No,
So
you
I'm gonna
have to.
find out so we can get our Patreon space. Do we have to pay for Patreon?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll figure out how to do that. It may not be this year, it'll be next year. So we're gonna start off with this space, and then I'm gonna work on getting, y'all know how long it took me. Thank you for waiting as I procrastinated. It took me forever. Others will hopefully start coming in. Bring others to the space with their viewpoints. I don't care if it's controversial, if they don't have the same viewpoints as us as Black American women. Make sure you share this space. Make sure you and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe, and we can find out other things that we can talk about and find. And I'm gonna try to look up resources in different areas. But if you live in a specific area, give me the information to those resources so we can share it on our Patreon space so that women who may be in need can get this information. This is stuff that we'll now. We're gonna just try to get up our membership here. Yes, and we will pay for membership. Okay. So we'll try to get up our spaces here. I did want to do something because I felt kind of bad when Mouthy had left out. And I felt like I wanted to give her something special because she was just such an awesome person bringing us together on these spaces, her and BSIA. But I definitely wanted to get her a baby gift or give her some money towards the baby. So that's something I want to do later on so we can send something in honor of her new bundle of joy. I make 2 co-workers. I will bring the okay. So I'm looking at doing something about that. Not right now at this present moment, but whenever we get a chance, so we can gather up something. And I'll find out her space where we can give her something towards her bouncing baby boy. That's something I want to do later on. If we can. So if y'all can, just a couple of dollars. It don't have to be nothing much, and then we'll add something to it to give the Mouthy for her bouncing baby boy and her just appreciation of what she's donated to the space. I'm not even sure if she's coming back according to BSI. I hope she show up. That would be nice.
I
But
think she'll show up.
you think
She'll
so?
show
I
up.
think she's
Yeah.
so indulged with the joy of being a mommy that I don't know. Yeah, I'll let you know. I'll let everybody know. It doesn't have to be much. I'll wait until after the holidays because I know everybody may be taking their coins and doing a lot, but I'll try to do it right after the Christmas holidays to gather something to send to her Patreon or to her Cash App, whichever way we can do it. I'll find out. So if Mouthy out there listening in the cloud, she probably not, or somebody can get it to her, ask her for her Cash App, and we can get that together and send something for little man. And her new bundle of joy. But yeah, we'll be setting up our Patreon space next year. So let's try to get this space up and jumping and invite as many people as you can. Make sure they're aware of the space and come with ideas. Send it to my email. I'll put that in the chat, not now, but later on in the back chat or whatever the case may be. And we'll come up with different ideas and stuff that we can talk about. And again, in these spaces, we're going to try to do stuff that will improve our everyday life. And it's also going to be a space where we can get a lot of things off of our chests so that when we go to start the new work week, we'll have a better aspect of how we can move or just our daily week, how we can move and just be more aware and alert. This will be a place that we can share different things that we may experience and share it with other women that they can be more protected and be more aware of just what's going on. We have to keep our head more on a swivel. I'm saying this to me, and I keep saying it because I walk around lackadaisical all the time. I'll be walking around like I don't give 2 fucks in the shit. And then when something happened, it's like, ooh, how far did I go? So it's stuff that I do. I know with me, I just go like I'm happy go lucky. And I'm noticing I just can't be like that anymore. I don't like that, but I'm seeing yeah, I'm about action to American Black Holocaust, but in our action we got to make sure it sticks, and in our action we don't have any bad consequences, but the consequences and the results that we get are good results. I don't want us to have an action and then have a bad reaction. My goal is for us to have a have action and then have a good reaction versus a bad reaction. So these are things again that we're going to talk about. I will be up again every Saturday, and it's going to be on Thursdays and Saturdays. So I'm not sure. How do y'all feel about Thursdays and what is a good time? Because I know on Thursdays you got to go to work the next day, and I don't want to necessarily keep someone up late at night. So I want to do it 2 days a week,
Well,
Thursdays and
yeah.
Saturdays. What do you think, Shay? What do y'all think?
I don't know, because I'm going to be doing my live streams too soon, y'all. So,
Yep, Shay will be starting
this,
soon.
say that again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I forgot you'll be starting soon.
Yep. I just started like saying little stuff here and there, but
Mhm.
it's so much for us to talk about, so much for us to do.
Yes.
And writing, Black Holocaust have mentioned things in writing. I mean, I wrote, and I'm a writer too. So we could
Mhm.
get together and have a writing campaign
Oh, that's
because
fine.
I'm about that life also. That's important.
Hmm.
That's very
Yes.
important.
Yep. And as Black women, let's like how American Black Holocaust said, we're about action, but make sure we get good reactions. That the consequence that for every action there's a good reaction. We don't want to get
And
bad.
Saturdays are good. This I don't think there's this time is good. Everybody else is doing what they got to do for themselves. We got to do what we got to do for ourselves. And I think this time is good. And with us doing different YouTube lives at different times, we could get the word around.
Okay.
And eventually it'll pick up.
Yeah.
We all
Have
have
separate.
our different styles.
Yes. Shay is more calm, and she's very, very spiritual. She's on this, but she gonna call on, and I'm spiritual as well. But you know me, I am rough, rugged, and raw. I
That's
say
all
what I
right.
gotta
That's
say.
all good.
We go at it. But it's our American Holocaust. She looks like she's also in their prayer spiritual motif, and we need we need all of our attributes to be working for us as Black American women and our families. So whatever you can bring your best, bring your originality. We are trendsetters, creators, inventors. We bring it. Let's bring it and
Come on.
put our
Let's go.
creativity on us. It's time. Let us invest in us and solely us. It is our time to rise and shine. Bring our ideas. Bring our best. And whatever we do, put God first, and then put ourselves, and make sure we just start
Protect us.
walking.
That's
Yeah,
right.
moving in a different way. That's what we need to do. This was a good live. I will be back on Saturday, and I will try to have more done. This will not. I will try to have more context and more stuff that we can talk about. Um, and I appreciate Shay coming. I appreciate you guys coming. I am exhausted, so I'm going to end it because I am sleepy. But I will be
Oh,
back
well, but
Saturday.
not you.
Yes, I will be back next Saturday, same time. Be right, be there, be square, and I'll make sure I have a title up so you know what to look out for. Definitely on the
No
Christmas
weapon
formed
formed
against.
against thee shall prosper. No weapon formed against thee shall prosper. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Everybody in the chat, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Because let me tell you, we are not ignorant of the devil's devices at all. And when you're about to set something new and great, you know there's always somebody trying to interfere. So before
Yep.
we close out, my spirit said to say that, okay? So we can
Yes.
continue to do what we got to do no matter what. And if we need some help, we got to get out. I'm My email is shaybusiness@gmail.com. Trina got her info, but I'm
Put it out the
saying
next
if
time. I gotta know how to put it. I'll put mine out the next time so we'll know on
okay,
December 2nd. So just
yeah,
subscribe
but
this time
yeah,
for Saturday, a week from Saturday. I'll make sure I put it up so we can come into
yes,
this prayerfully. Kay and Shay and everybody will
that's
show up,
right.
bring others, and then I'll have more information over stuff that we need to go over. Bring any ideas, anything you want to talk about, Kay. We'll
That's
do it
right.
rough, rugged, raw. And like I said, the next one that I'll be talking about, and we didn't get into, is anxiety and triggers and different things on how to stabilize that stuff. We may start off talking with that, but you know us, we free flow and we go into other stuff. And the reason why I want to talk about anxiety, depression, and triggers, because I'm affected by that, and I'm one of the main ones who get triggered easily, as y'all can clearly see. And anxiety, I act like a complete bus fool. And with everything that's going on, I want to make sure that I know how to control those things and get the
That's
help
right.
that other women may experience, so that you can get the help that you need to control those things, so that you don't let it take you off the mark with everything that's going on around us. And to also know, if you are having episodes of depression, these are the things to look out for, and to get that help and go and talk with someone who's of a professional level, so you don't sink further into it, because we can't have that stumbling block right now in these times. So we want to catch those
Yeah.
and know how to stave it off, so don't we don't like get like ride that horse, like one of my girlfriends said. She was in this space, the niece was in here, I don't know if she left out. You don't want to ride that white horse. When you see that you on the horse, okay, you understand you there, then get the hell off of that horse and get you the help that you need, so that you can get your mind in order. In this time, you need to have a peace that passes all understanding, and you need to
Yes,
make
that's
your
right.
mind always stayed focused. We need to
That's
do
right.
that to get the therapy and help we need. I'm one of those people. That's why I want to talk about it, because this is something that Black women don't necessarily talk about in our community. So I'll bring up information on this Saturday coming up. I hope y'all
That's
had a
right.
happy Thanksgiving. Make sure when you go into your week on Monday, enjoy your Sunday, your day of rest. And when you go into Monday, bring up some ideas for the next chat so we can talk about it. Everyone have a good night. Much
Have a
love. Thanks for
good night.
supporting. See you next week. And
And I'm
bring.
sipping on some garlic water, y'all. So
Oh
sip
Lord,
on that tea
you gonna
as
be
much as you
funky.
can. That's all right. I got tea infused with it. How about that? Some
Yeah.
green tea and honey.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sound
we
good.
got to sip on all this herbs and stuff because too much stuff is out here and it's spreading.
Yeah, it is. So everybody, make sure you build up your immune system. Build it up as high as you can. You may catch something, but you want to get rid of it as quickly as you catch it. So
That's right.
that's a good idea. We can bring up a
We
lot of different things.
superpower girls.
You a nut. Again, see y'all next Saturday. See you, Kay. See everybody. Be
See
safe.
you
Much
later. Be safe. Until next
peace
time.
out. Peace.
Peace.